September 11th, 2025. Charlie Kirk, the founder of the right-wing youth activist group Turning Point USA and a close ally of unregistered sex offender Donald Trump, was fatally shot on Wednesday afternoon while speaking at a university campus event in Utah. Eyewitnesses told The Guardian that Kirk was being questioned about mass shootings when he was shot in the neck. Kirk said he was against them, so the shooter stopped at one, out of respect. At least 4 students were injured after a shooting at a high school in Evergreen, Colorado, on Wednesday afternoon, according to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. The shooter is a student at the school who used a revolver handgun to shoot fellow students. No details about the suspected shooter, including the suspect's age or gender, are available at this time. Kash Patel is trying to manufacture a link between the shooter and any liberal transgender immigrant person. West Nile virus infections are intense so far this year, with case counts running 40% higher than normal, health officials say. RFK Jr. is relying on herd immunity to protect U.S. citizens because he heard that saying the word immunity is more effective than immunization. The leader and other emissaries of Iglesia La Luz del Mundo, or LLDM, because I'll be damned if I'm going to say that twice, abused the power, doctrine, and structure of the megachurch to sexually abuse generations of girls, boys, and women, according to prosecutors in New York. The indictment named LLDM leader Nelson Joaquin Garcia, who is currently serving a prison sentence in California after being convicted of sexually abusing young followers, and 5 others who were being arrested Wednesday in various locations, law enforcement officials said. The Trump administration is caught between a rock and a rock-hard place. On the one hand, Garcia is a Hispanic criminal and should be deported. On the other hand, Garcia is a convicted child sex offender, which qualifies him for a cabinet post in the Trump administration. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals on Wednesday upheld a New Jersey law that barred carrying firearms in so-called sensitive places like schools and public gatherings. Other sensitive areas like your taint, under boobs, and butt cracks were excluded in the 139-page decision. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with the news and snark for September 11th, 2025. Happy anniversary, and don't forget your 9/11 greeting cards.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee, and hot.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with the Dog. No dog today, just someone who kind of looks like one. Today is September 11th, and just in case you failed to get your anniversary cards, you can get them half price today, just in time to take them to work, give them to your employees. Well, you're probably at work already, so I guess sneak out at lunchtime, get your 9/11 anniversary card at half price, then go back to work and give them to your coworkers. Unless you're living in a tall building near an airport, then it may be in bad taste. So, welcome. I am G.D. Fenderson, Matt's sidekick, his side piece. I am the coffee in his cream, I guess. And welcome. Before I bring in our special co-host today, I just want to say congratulations to No Fish Today, our trivia team. We won first place again last night. So it's like 3 weeks in a row we won first place. Good God Almighty. What's going on up there? It must be the brain power that these old people have. Nothing but old folks. Amen to that. Yep. So I'm going to introduce my bestest friend in Michigan, the Spick to my Span, the Ku Klux to my Clan, the Ed to my McMahon, John Beavers, the Beef Man.
I like that. The spick to my span. Thank you. I appreciate that since most people think that I'm Italian.
I just did something stupid to my earpiece.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's not your fault.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Well, excellent. I have two drinks with me today. I've got my water with my very special cup to piss off conservatives. Thank you.
Oh, great. Well, I have my very special cup here to piss off Slaptail Nation haters.
Yeah, fuck you guys. But we all know there are no Slaptail Nation haters.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Maybe one. And his producer. Maybe one and his producer. Who knows? Don't care. Not gonna message. Not gonna even say anything about it.
Now, I am told that your volume is a little bit low. Let's see if I can turn it up.
I can adjust it. Here, is that better?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It was in the chat room. They said it was a little low.
Well, thank you in chat room. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's
So,
on the agenda?
well, that's just a funny thing. There's no real agenda because usually the agenda is we talk about stuff that the guests, to support whatever the guests want to do or whatever they're bringing to the table. So if they're bringing a book to the table, talk about something like that. I guess we could talk about the fact that Charlie Kirk is still dead. I did. I checked. I checked on the update just before I went on the air, so I could have the most up to date information, and he's still dead as of
Okay.
49 minutes ago.
I was wondering.
Yeah, as reported by the BBC.
Now, we can safely assume that this is not fake news.
Oh no, no.
All the other news is fake. We can safely assume that this news is indeed correct.
Now, this is what annoys me about this. Well, not there's a few things that annoys me about the fact that he was not that he was shot and killed. That doesn't bother me. I don't that no. But what bothers me is when he died. Now Trump was to put the flags at half staff. He wants uh he said has a terrible thing for America. This whole bit. I'm not even gonna go through all the bullshit that he said. But there was also a school shooting yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that they'll just get thoughts and prayers eventually. I didn't see any comment. I didn't see a comment from the uh, GOP gallery for that yesterday.
Yeah. I follow this comedian that's on the West Coast. Very, just absolutely beautiful woman who's trans. Just absolutely gorgeous. And she posts on there pretty often about basically the hypocrisy of politics. And she had posted that, we're not doing shit about school shootings, but you want to dictate what a woman can do with their body in regard to things like abortion. And I commented that, well, they only care about babies until they're born.
Right.
And then somebody commented on there, oh, you're just ignorant. And of course, I don't comment back because I'm like, I'm just going to let you stew on that comment and wait forever for me to comment back. But guess what? I'm not going to. I don't argue with dumb people. Not my
Well,
thing.
I try not to.
I mean, I'm more likely to punch them than argue. I think that's silly. Why waste my words?
Well, I agree. But I'm a comedian, so it's my job to waste words. Well, I'm not actually a comedian, I'm a humorist. But that's all I do is waste words.
So I've been told. I don't know if anyone else knows that you're a humorist, but I have heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. And anyone who's ever seen me perform knows I'm not a comedian. And so they say, well, why is he up there? It's like, because I'm a humorist.
Yeah. Well, most people who perform anyway, are they comedians? Is it? Can you? Oh, I forgot. It's Trump America. You can just assign yourself any title you want. That is
Yeah.
why I identify as a cryptid. Yeah. Easiest to spot, hardest to catch. I identify as a cryptid.
See, now somebody with a lesser education is going to think that's somebody who talks in code.
I don't know if you have to be educated to know what a cryptid is. It's a special kind of education. Did you know that you can actually get a certification in cryptozoology?
Yes, I did. And I don't know how you go about proving that you've identified species correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I find it interesting that I was like, I should really put that as my title. After all my other titles. Actually, I could put it at the beginning. Just a cryptozoologist.
I would stick it in the middle just to see if somebody catches it.
Yeah. Nurses love their titles. They put a lot of. Some of them will put a lot of designations after their name. I do not.
Yeah, I know someone like that. The Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll has like 9 things after his name. It's
Oh yeah,
overkill.
it's
I
overkill.
think you can stop at 8.
It's totally impressive.
Yeah.
I've been writing short sets. Not a lot of fun to write a short set. 90 seconds. Have you ever done that? Have you ever tried to do that?
Well, I guess I have done it. I mean, I've written for Politipod, and so I've done that kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So, but not for stage.
Well, I'm going to Indiana tonight
Okay.
for a Kill Tony esque show, and I think that we're doing 2 sets. So they've asked certain. I think there's like 7 or 8 of us that are on, and then they have a bucket pull. So in between the bucket pulls, which I find ambitious because I'm like, well, I hope you think that a lot of people are doing bucket pulls or whatever. I guess we will be doing 2 sets, and they're 90 seconds.
Okay.
So I wrote a couple 90-second sets. We'll see how that goes.
I'm not big on well, actually, I don't care about the length of the set as long as I can get what I'm trying to convey across. So, and that's basically it. I know I did a open mic on Tuesday night. Very nice open mic, home slice at Home Slice Pizza in Columbia, Maryland. It's called the Slice is Right open mic, run by Sandy Bernstein and Walter Gottlieb. The only thing is there's 4 minute sets.
Okay.
And when I went there because Sandy and Walter are both going to be appearing on a show with me, and so I wanted to go there to kind of promote the thing. And I wrote a 5 minute set, and just before I go up, Walt says, "I'll light you at 3. You'll stop at 4." And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I said, "What?" Because I wrote 5 minutes. I don't know how to. That means I have to cut a minute of storytelling on the fly,
Mm-hmm.
or 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 substitute a different story. And I'm like, well, what story would I know? Because it would be like exactly 1 minute shorter.
Yeah.
And so, but I have like little things that are like a minute long and stuff like that, which is what I wound up doing. When I came up short, I just okay, I know this is 1 minute long, and I did that, filled it in.
I am a firm believer or student of the awkward pause.
Oh
So
yeah.
I like to do that in my set. Some may say I pause beyond the awkward pause. And I like to do that. So I can't do that in a 90-second set. I can pause for a couple seconds, but that's it. But I love to pause until people just start cracking up and look at me strange. It's fun. Too many people don't pause. I think too many people don't pause and they just rush through their jokes.
Well, I think now, and depending on the comedian, some comedians, the pause is their tell that they're about to take you in a slightly different direction. They'll say something and say something, and they pause because in that direction, and they know that they're about to go that way, and so they pause so that I guess they say, okay, let's get them just before it's too late to get off that exit, and then I'll let them know this is the exit. Then they swerve and laugh.
Well, these are comedians that are clearly far more experienced than I am.
I wouldn't say that. It's one
And
of
I
the
do not consider myself a comedian anyway. So
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're far more experienced. You one of I was actually one of them was like Anthony Jeselnik. He does it. I don't think he's much more experienced than
God,
you.
yeah. No,
He's only been doing it for like 20 years.
yeah, 20 years.
Yeah,
Some might say he's masterful and a comedic genius of the dark arts. That's
the
what I would
dark
say.
arts.
The dark arts, yes. I enjoy
Listen,
Anthony Jeselnik.
yeah, I know. That's why I happened to. That's why I mentioned that.
Yes, I know. I figured.
Yeah,
I've been working on some diabetic jokes that might interest you.
of course, being a diabetic.
Yeah, yeah. I've been doing so. My friend Nolan Johncock, also who is a true comedian, he's got 10 years under that belt of his. Uh, well, he'll like throw jokes by me, and so I do the same thing. But I do jokes that he finds annoying. So I did a whole set of medical based jokes, and he's like, I don't get it. No one's gonna get these jokes. He's like, these
Young
jokes are
Duodenum does
stupid.
not get it.
He does not.
Young Duodenum does not get the joke.
He does not get it. And he's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, I'm going to do this joke tonight. He's like, you do that joke. I swear to God, I'll kill you. Like, all right, calm down. But, the Swan gets them, my wife. She gets them. So she's dying laughing. So she makes them up too.
She's a health professional like you.
Yeah. And he's like, this is not going to work in front of a regular crowd. Like, well, we'll see. We'll see. I do one tonight just for fun.
Well, see now, I don't have a problem with that, especially if it's a larger crowd. I mean, I have quite a few jokes that I know that 4% of the population will get, and the other 96% will go, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
that's
that's all
fine.
jokes, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's all jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I actually got to do. I really wanted to do a open mic at Dr. Grin's, which is the Grand Rapids Comedy Club. Really cool, and what I had to get, I think like 4 months in advance to ask to do it because they're really busy. And so I got on in January, and I was super excited. But what I didn't know was their open mic is the opening act for their comedy show. So then right after that, there's the feature and the headliner. So you're
Oh,
actually in a show with an actual comedian. So I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
maybe that's why it's such a long waiting list.
Yeah, maybe. And you get, I think it was 3 minutes. Was it 3 minutes or five? It was either 3 or 5. Um, but they had a huge crowd that came in that was an office. It was like a holiday office party for
Hmm.
like a plastic surgeon or something. And so I was like, oh, cool. This is going to work to my benefit. So the last joke I did was like a medical type joke, but everybody else got it. But it was funny, and that did really well. So that was fun.
I know that the very first time I did um, comedy, not the first time I did comedy, but the first time when I started doing comedy as a career, um, I started as part of a comedy boot camp, and it was the class graduates opened up. We did our bits, and then we had a feature and a headliner. Or no, I don't think we had a feature. It was just a headliner. Yeah, and the place was packed,
Yeah.
paying guests, but we didn't
Nice.
see any money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We also, I very rarely see money, so I don't seek it out. I don't seek it out. I think that someday I will actually make some money from hosting. Don't know if I'll actually make it from being on shows. But
Now,
once
I
you
have
have,
been paid. I've had many, 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 many paying gigs, but I have very few gigs that I've, well, when I say very few, I mean zero, where I've actually made a profit compared to what I spent, for the gigs.
oh, yeah. Thankfully, I don't have to. I think that all of our expenses have been pretty much paid. Now it's just transportation. Like if I can get there, it's not that far. I just don't want to drive that far if it's for a small gig. Um, Tonight I agreed to this show tonight because I was like, yeah, I'll do it. It's 2 hours away. Like fuck, 2 hours away, and it's an hour behind us. So when I get home, it's even later.
Oh yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
ugh. Yeah, And
Yeah, that's
I like to be in bed by 10.
well, you can be if you just move your bed closer to where you're
Right.
performing.
Yeah.
I
It'll be
mean,
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's good.
that seems like that's on you. You know, you want to go back to your own bed.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is when people are like, "Oh, can you do this?" Blah blah blah, and you're like, "Oh, sure, whatever," and then you find out where it is. You're like, "Fuck, god damn it!" Yeah, I don't mind if it's in. I wouldn't mind if it's in like Detroit because Detroit's the same time zone. So you're like, "Ah, it's just Detroit. Just zip up there, zip back," which is ridiculous because it's the same. It's the same amount of time. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes or so to get to Detroit.
Uh,
It's just a more familiar drive, so it seems like it's less time, which is ridiculous on my part.
I, there's about a year ago there was a place I tried to get into to perform. They've never had comedy, but they've had bands there. And matter of fact, it's a place where Crack the Sky performed,
Who's
and
cracked the sky?
it's let me see, who cracked the sky? Gosh,
I feel like I've heard of them recently, but
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
it sounds actually it sounds familiar to me for me to say it, but they're a band. But the venue is so close to my house that I can hear the bands that play there.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, it depends on the band.
I guess, but they can't all be winners.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I have to be sitting out back on my deck, otherwise, or in my backyard. Otherwise, I don't hear them in the house. So I was trying to get into there to do comedy, and I was told that you have to have an agent. But they've never done comedy before. But they're about to do a comedy show there, and the person doing it, they have people on their show who I do not respect at all. As one who I actively campaign against. Whenever someone says, "What do you think of so and so?" I said, "You can't have that one on your show." You know, but they're going to be there, and I'm pretty sure that I may be able to hear them from my house. And I'm going to try not to let it bug me,
Yeah.
um, but it's going to bug me, I
It's
think.
gonna bug you. How big is this venue? Like super huge?
Well, it's an outdoor venue, so it's not the size. Like when they have small bands, they can put up a fake wall, like a fence around their paved area. So it doesn't look like there's 12 people, but there's like 90 acres behind them, you know. But there's only, so they can put up a fence around it. But like when Crack the Sky was there, they moved the fence and then he had like acres
Oh, of
behind
course.
it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that was majorly sold out. Just
Oh yeah, I think I know there were like 300 cars in the parking lot when we got there, and we got there early.
sure this isn't just like a Walmart parking lot that people are performing in.
No, it's no, it's all wood. It's greens. It's the greens. Not
Well, I
well.
mean, there's woods behind our Walmart. I mean,
Yeah, but the paved part is just like a little concrete patio for tables and stuff. And
okay.
then behind them is like nothing but rolling greens and then trees. Then there's an orchard.
Oh, I was like, there's an orca out there. What the fuck? It's like an
Yeah, the
aquarium.
orchard. There's an
Oh,
orchard
an orchard.
behind that. So yeah,
All right.
we're country. We're a small town that wants to be a big city and stay country.
That's not so bad,
Yeah,
I guess.
but a lot of the small businesses are gone, and I hate that. You know,
Oh
almost
yeah,
every individual business is being replaced by a conglomerate or some like a Walmart, Target, even the food places. Small
that's odd
restaurants are
because
just, you know,
that's strange because with the tariffs, you'd think that they would be rich now.
ooh, you mean the small businesses?
Oh yeah, that helps make them rich too. Because
Depends on where they get their stuff from.
the countries pay the tariffs. It doesn't trickle down to the business owners
Oh,
or the
right.
people who purchase products. That's how tariffs work. It only affects the country that we import from.
Right. Yeah. And they teach that in day two in your cryptozoology class.
Oh, this is a separate economics course that I take from Trump University, a
That
non-accredited institution.
has been sued and they lost their suit.
Yeah. The cryptozoology course is more accredited than any information you would ever get from Trump. Genius. The guy's a genius. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Now, I have a question for you now, because you tried to answer this yesterday in the chat. It's about the IMDb page.
Mm-hmm.
You have what, IMDb Pro?
Mm-mm. No, I just have IMDb.
Really?
Yes.
So, but your stuff just showed up. It just shows up. Like every show that you do, for those of you who do not know, he has a podcast. Go ahead, tell me about your podcast.
Our podcast is called The Slaptail Squad, and you can hear it on every platform except for Pandora, who still hasn't accepted us after 7 years. I don't know why. Apparently you can hear the episodes do populate on IMDb, on YouTube, everywhere. Yeah.
Because I found out from that I have an IMDb credit, and it's because of your podcast.
Awesome. We are so cool.
Yeah, and that's the first IMDb credit that I have. It's not the first one that I should have earned, but
yeah, I don't know how we got on IMDb because we didn't do anything to get on there. And I think that it's because we had someone on who is on IMDb, and it was across somehow. I don't know though. I don't know technology. I don't know how that happened, but I do know that's I assume that's that way because like I said, one of the people that we had on our show has an IMDb page, so that might be why.
Okay, I have to check to see. I think I went to. Well, even if I don't have one, I will have one. I mean, I have an IMDb page now, and I will have another credit pretty soon because I was in a pilot for a TV show.
Yeah, you just put that stuff up there and.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just talked to the director yesterday, and I'm still in it. I have not been cut, like every other thing that I was in.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I watched the Better Sister all the way through.
That's okay. That's the show that's on.
7. It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
So he is in the next to last episode. I believe that's episode 7.
Yes, Jackie Martling is in the next to last episode. His house is probably in every episode.
Oh, quite a few. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah.
His house is in quite a few episodes. Yeah. His house doesn't have to pay SAG fees though, I don't think.
No.
Because it never says anything.
And his house is in like probably dozens of movies.
Yeah. Maybe it's got maybe his house has an IMDb. Now that you mention it, I wonder if Jackie has an IMDb credit from being on our podcast. Now I gotta look at my IMDb.
Yeah.
Let's see. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a good source of information on anything. I know less.
I apologize to the audience because I really thought I was going to learn something about IMDb from you.
You didn't put that in the description. Today we will learn all about IMDb.
Well, I just figured that you've been around it enough that you could, speak intelligently about it.
Nope.
It's kind of like me and OBS. I don't know anything about OBS except for the times that it went wrong and I had to learn to fix it. And then I've learned so fucking much about OBS.
Yeah, my son knows a lot about OBS. That's what he uses for streaming.
Yeah, well, I don't know enough that I'm still uncomfortable using it for anything other than plausible.com.
Oh.
That's the only thing I use it for. I don't use it for anything else.
Plausible.com. Check out GD's specials on Plausible.
Yeah, I have. I'm doing a show in November called Funny Old Farts, and it's 4 of us. I'm pretty sure we're all 60 and over, but we have one guy who's been a friend of mine for like 8 years, and he's in his 70s. So I know he doesn't have long to live.
Right.
So I wanted to get on the show. Yeah.
If he makes it to 80, there's a good chance he'll live to 100.
Well, I wanted to get him. I wanted to work with him on stage, So
You're like, let's bring him up. We don't know how much time he has left. That's why I invited him to be on this show for no other reason.
no sudden loud clapping. You could give him a heart attack.
He's not funny. No one can follow his train of thought because it's from the 1920s. No, it's
He's very good, and he has some dark stuff. He has some very dark stuff, but he's done more acting than he's done comedy, I think.
Okay.
But
Well, anybody can do comedy, apparently.
yeah,
Yeah, anybody, just get up there.
anybody can do comedy, and some people do it better than others.
Yes, I was when we were visiting with Jackie Martling, because we got to hang out with him. Was it this past weekend? Holy shit, was it last weekend? Is that when it was? I don't remember anymore. God, it's been all a blur. Uh, he was talking about what your job is as a comedian. Is to make people laugh and enjoy the show and have fun and all sort of stuff. I have failed miserably. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it is with all of my comedy. People are laughing and enjoying themselves tremendously.
Well, that's as far as I'm concerned. That's all. That's all. Just have they have a good time. Because if you think about it, the way the human brain works, if you do a 15-minute set, the average audience is not going to remember all of that 15 minutes.
Oh God, no, less than 10.
Yeah, they're going to remember one or two moments, or maybe 2 or 3 moments. If a lot of people laughed and they take away one or two moments, they've had a good time.
Right.
And that's my goal, is to make sure that people have, like, everybody has like one or two moments that they can say, well, actually, on the longer set, 3 or 4, maybe 5 moments that they can cling to and go, yeah, that was really good, because they'll fill in the rest with a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not like if you watch, like I watched, was it Nate Bargatze's special? I don't remember which one it was. And I was watching it, and he's likable. His comedy's cute, but there was no. I wouldn't say there were jokes anymore. It was just him talking about his life and putting in fun quips and stuff, which were cute and funny. I'm like, once they become big, do they even write jokes anymore, or do they just tell you about their life so that you can learn more about them? Is that what they end up doing? Because Anthony
See, now
Jeselnik writes jokes. He literally writes jokes. There's a setup. He takes a turn, and boom, hits you with the actual joke. I don't know.
yeah, I there was a early in my comedy career, I opened up for an actor turned comedian. Um, I'm trying to think of his name. He was on Different Strokes. He played Willis.
Oh,
Todd
Todd
somebody.
Bridges.
Yeah, Todd Bridges, I think.
Todd Bridges did comedy. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's just it. That was my reaction.
All right.
And I opened for him, and he did not tell any jokes. As a matter of fact, he was god awful.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time I've actually talked about this live and mentioned his name. I try not to do that.
Is he still alive?
No, this is live.
No, I mean, is Todd Bridges still alive?
As far as I know, he is.
Okay. Todd, he's wrong. You were hilarious.
He
Be on my
was
podcast.
not.
I have
He
questions
was
about
not.
Different Strokes.
He was not hilarious. Oh my God.
Did you ever see Your Sister Naked? She was hot. I saw her play with bed. All right.
He was drunk.
Melissa?
He was hitting on people. Just hitting on this one woman in the front row. And unfortunately, her table was right next to mine. No, and it was awful. But he didn't tell any jokes. He kept trying to tell stories about his life. And even those stories, he kept stopping in the middle of to interrupt himself to talk to this woman and try to pick her up.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did he get paid for that show? Probably not.
I'm pretty sure he got paid for it.
I mean, he was on Celebrity Boxing. He fought Vanilla Ice.
To what, was he boxing, or was
Celebrity Boxing? He fought Vanilla Ice.
Oh, okay. Now, were they wearing size gloves? I would think that Vanilla Ice beat his ass, but what happened?
No. No, he lost.
Really?
Todd Bridges was in prison, man.
Oh yeah, but just because you're in prison doesn't mean that you learn to fight.
Oh, he was a black man.
Again,
when you're black, you are born with the ability to throw hands, have a big penis, and somewhere in your home there's a bass guitar.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to show you that I have a bass guitar behind my wall here, behind my Crack the Sky banner.
Look, and that's not me saying that. That's South Park.
I would say that's South Park. Yeah, South Park
South
said that. I
said
remember.
that. I'm just
Because
I'm just
Token didn't know he could play bass. And I knew he was, I knew, they said give him bass. I knew it was like, bloop, bloop. I knew it. I knew that was coming.
And he's
But
like,
it's still, I still cracked up.
that is the best. And he's like, God damn it, Token, somewhere in your house is a bass guitar. He's like, no, there isn't, Carbon. There was. God damn it. God damn it.
I still, now my favorite scene, I kind of stopped watching South Park when Chef died. Well, not Chef, but Isaac Hayes.
Oh man, you stopped a long time after me. I stopped after the movie, the first movie.
Okay.
And I just randomly see it now and again, or I'll watch the clips. I'm like, God damn, it's so funny as fuck.
Now I used to watch it with my stepdaughter, when I had visitation. Yes, because actually when she was allowed to visit me, because she was like 16 or something. Her mother would let her watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, sure, we watch it. And I just said, look, we can watch it. Matter of fact, we used to watch it when she was younger than that. I just told her we'll watch it together. And if you have any questions, we'll pause it. And you can ask me about it. And I'll answer any questions.
There's no good explanations for a lot of stuff on there. Like you're like, let me explain why they whip out a huge cock, like in the movie where he's fucking him and Saddam and Satan are fucking. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? How you gonna explain that one if you did the movie? Jesus.
Well, if she asked about it, I explained it. But
not tonight, Saddam. Come on, Satan.
Hello, crackers. Children. Hello, children.
Hey, Chef.
What are you little crackers up to today?
Oh, fucked up. Oh, this is the best. Taking those risks. Love it. Yeah.
I still love that
That's
show.
how we used to catch my kids. That I knew that they were watching the stuff they weren't supposed to watch. You reference something like, you do a voice off of South Park, and they're like, oh, you're doing whatever from South Park. How the fuck do you know that?
Now, what I used to do with my stepdaughter, to find out what was going on in her life, her and I would take her to dinner, and I'd get her a big chocolate milkshake full of sugar. Because when she got sugar in her system, she just started talking and blabbing, and she just couldn't stop. And I would just sit and listen, and she would just, just tell me everything. And then the teacher had her back turned, and we started throwing erasers at the teacher. And the difference between myself and her mother is that her mother would, as soon as she said something wrong, her mother would interrupt and go, "What? You did what? What?" And then she wouldn't tell her anything else. Mm-hmm. Me, I just sit back and I listen, and I just let her tell me everything. And I recommend that to parents. Don't interrupt the kids. Give them lots of sugar. Let them talk. Don't interrupt them until they stop talking. And then address the important stuff. Because we all did fucked up shit as kids.
And then that child develops diabetes.
I didn't say it was a perfect plan. But it helps you find out what's going on in your kid's life.
It's better to, you can be Snoopy, you can be crafty, sneaky, and still Snoop, but your child's going to have diabetes. And be obese. So, good plan. I suppose.
She didn't grow up. As far as I know, she didn't grow up obese. Last time I saw her, she was still svelte.
Svelte.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to call your stepdaughter svelte.
I think you can when you're not the stepfather anymore. Her mother and I divorced.
Well, I don't. Nah, you can't. I don't think you can even look in her direction now.
And doesn't svelte just mean thin?
Sure.
Yeah. That's what I thought svelte was.
Sure. I mean, it's not a sexual term at all.
I didn't think it was.
No one uses that as a descriptive sexual term. As far as
Thank you. It's not like I have like an etching of my stepdaughter, with my signature in her crotch.
That would be odd.
Yeah.
You have to be a sick fuck to do something like that.
Who would do that?
No one in their right mind who isn't a sick bastard would do that.
Now, just I was ready to do magic. If I was ready to really, I was ready to do magic. If you didn't show up, I was because I'm to fill time because I didn't know if you were going to show up at 9 or at 10. I assumed at 9. That's it. But but is he thinking that Matt's going to be here till 10? I don't know. And I was ready to do magic. I was going to my trophy, and I was going to make it float in midair.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's amazing. No one would be able to figure out what you're doing there. That is some high quality broadcasting. I'm so glad I'm here on my day off.
Watch this. I'm going to make my hand appear. Ta-da!
Oh my gosh, this guy is incredible. Someone call David Blaine or whoever. I don't even know who's a magician now.
See that? That's a shame.
Is Doug Henning still a
thing? He died like 12 years ago.
God damn it. R.I.P. Doug.
Actually, the only illusionists I know that may still be alive are Penn and Gillette. Penn and Teller.
Isn't David Copperfield alive?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either. Oh, we saw Penn and Teller when we were in Vegas. It was fucking awesome. Oh my god, was that funny as fuck?
So they are.
So good.
Now Teller talks now, though, right?
Oh, does he?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He may not talk in the shows, but didn't he? They had a show where other illusionists were allowed to.
That's right. They were trying to stump them or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I can't hear him, and your mic is tinny or echoes. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Can't hear me. I can hear me loud as fuck.
Yeah, I know mine is a little echoey, and I don't know what to do about it because it happens. It's weird. It happens every time you and I are on together.
Oops, I muted myself. Let me see my settings.
So.
Change this. Do that. Is that better?
I'm fine with it before.
Let me do that. Let me mute my mic here, and I'm just going to listen to the. Well, then I can't listen to the podcast. Well, actually, I can. I can go back on YouTube real quick.
Oh, okay. There. Great. People on the radio, you did not lose anything. We were just making adjustments to things. So, and now, of course, I don't know what those adjustments are. But at any rate, what you did miss was I did a magic trick. I let my worst comedy special ever trophy levitate before your very eyes. Say something for me.
I am talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went back and watched us talking, and it was loud and clear on YouTube, so I don't got me. I do not.
And did you hear me echo?
I did hear you echo.
Yeah.
Strange.
I don't know what that is. It's only whenever you and I talked when streamed together. My echo, like when you had your mic unplugged or whatever, and you were looking at it on YouTube, my echo stopped. There's really something in the ether between when I stream to you and it comes back, I hear echo. I have no idea what it is.
No.
So I just have accepted it.
Do you hear the echo now?
Nope, it stopped. And I hear you.
Okay.
What did you do?
I clicked on echo cancellation on my end.
Oh, okay. Wow, amazing.
Amazing. And scene. Anyway, yeah, I don't know how you can't hear me. I just listened on YouTube and it was loud and clear, so I'm not sure.
Oh, and in California, good morning, Ann. And Ann says, she can hear me loud and clear. I don't know what this is. See, when in the Gov's chat room, there's no timestamp, so I don't know when people are hearing when they wrote something.
Oh, well, is Ann in California still on? Ann in
Anne is
California,
in
can you hear me?
California, and she said she hears Beef Man now. Yay!
Okay,
All
weird,
right, all right.
strange. Okay,
That's okay. We'll just for people who did not hear the first 45 minutes, the Beef Man and I are going to just read. Well, the first
mhm.
40 minutes, the Beef Man and I are just going to redo everything we just said.
I'm just gonna pull back on YouTube and play it, and then just
And
crank it.
Skylar Creates in Twitch says loud and clear on Twitch.
Okay.
Thank you,
Oh,
Skylar Creates.
Skylar, why aren't you working? Are you just listening? Oh,
You know
that's my friend.
Skylar.
That's my boy.
Oh,
That's my
hey,
boy.
oh, the comedian. Is that the
Yeah.
comedian boy?
Well, I only got one boy, so yes, he's a master of all things.
Oh, he's a polymath.
He does lots of things. He's a streamer. He's done a little bit of stand up. He had a little podcast. He went to the Georgia Film Academy to learn to be a grip and an editor. So he's a certified editor, film editor.
Oh, okay. One of my friends in California, that was what he wants to do. He majored in film in college, and he went out to California to do editing. And
Yeah.
matter of fact, I helped him on a project as an editor.
Oh,
The film, again, I don't have any credit for it. The film was called Lady Hawk, I think. No,
no way.
wait a minute, no, not
No.
Lady Hawk. No, not Lady
Oh,
Hawk. It's
God, I got super excited there for a second.
it's something Hawk, but it has Rachel McLeish in it.
Who the fuck is Rachel McLeish?
Oh, you don't know? Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You're
hold on. Let me see what Rachel McLeish is. This a Class B actor? Like a B movie actor?
well, she was like probably one of the first Miss Olympias. She was a bodybuilder back in
Is
the
it
80s.
MCLISH?
Rachel McLeish. I guess MCLISH. I think so.
Says female bodybuilder. Miss
Yes,
Olympia.
yes,
Let me
yes.
see
That's
some
her.
fucking pictures then.
Yes.
Some images. Rachel.
And find out what movie she was in. It was something Hawk, not Lady Hawk,
All
but
right. Oh, goddamn. Meow.
I helped to edit that movie.
Apparently, she's still on Facebook. You guys should have her on the show.
I'll reach out to her. I will reach out to her. It's like I worked on her film. I worked on. I did sound editing on the film.
How do I not know who this is?
And the only thing I got was a mug that said Big Time Productions. That's what I have. So and I edited the forest scene.
Okay.
It's not editing on that scene.
Let's see what Rachel McLeish movies. She was in Iron Eagle 3.
Oh, I did not know
I
that.
don't think I saw because 2 was terrible. Because the star died immediately. I'm like, what the fuck? That was not the point of Iron Eagle. Iron Eagle. Ravenhawk.
Ravenhawk. That was the movie I helped to edit.
That makes no sense. Ravenhawk. Why? Why are two birds together? Like, okay.
Maybe her hair was black like a raven, and I don't know.
Her last name was Hawk, and her parents named her Raven. Probably. That's kind of dumb. 1996. This was direct to video. That's why no one's ever heard of it.
Oh, okay. I know. I never saw it. I never saw it.
I guess they went direct to video because of some forest scene got fucked up. There's some very poor editing in the forest scene, so we cut the whole.
If I had done a better job, they'd have had a theatrical release.
Yeah. Who knows? It could have done really well in the former Yugoslavia.
Ravenhawk. So that was the movie. And even my friend who did most of the sound editing. Well, not most. He was, I think, a first assistant editor or something. I don't remember his title, but he didn't have his SAG card yet.
Okay.
He didn't get his SAG card until Something About Mary. And that's about that was the last time we actually had contact with each other. Once he got his SAG card and had regular money coming in, he stopped.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Up until then, because I used to send him money from time to time. He needed money for gas to get to gigs and something. Well, not gigs. Well, gigs, but they're movie gigs, not comedy gigs or music gigs. See, whatever. It's funny. Whatever industry you're in, if I say gig, that's what you think of. I say gig, and they go like, a musician will go like, oh, it's a music gig, and if you're a comedian, it's like a comedy gig, and if you're an artist, it's an art gig. You know, but it was a
Oh,
movie gig.
gotcha. I don't know. I'm not cool enough to use the word gig.
Oh, if you're a computer nerd, and then you're
So I
not
got
going
to
to a
like,
gig, you're using gigs. So, and as a matter of fact, the the CD that I recorded back in the '90s, uh, when they were doing something about Mary, they were looking for music for something about Mary, and my friend recommended my CD. Well, let's ask, played my CD for them to see if they could use it. I knew they weren't going to use it because I know my music, and I'm
mhm.
like, "What's the movie about?" There's nothing in my, I could write music for them, I could write, but they got two of the guys who were friends of the editor, friends of the director, and they did
Gotcha.
the music.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
the
that's
music is
that.
pretty upbeat in that movie. So that's a good movie. That's a classic movie. Something about
Yeah,
Mary.
yeah. And so that was my, and there was a scene where they're driving along and they pull over and there's a bunch of sex acts going on in the woods.
Yeah, I think they turn lights on or something in the
Right.
woods.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
the
so
lights gone.
two of my friends are in that scene, and they asked, they said, do you want to come out to Hollywood and be in this scene?
Mhm.
We need a bunch of people. And I'm like, I'm not coming out to Hollywood to do an unpaid thing. And then he says, we're all just doing sex stuff together in the woods. And the last thing I want to do, and since they were friends, they're both the guys, they're both guys, they were doing something sexual together in the woods. And
Right,
I'm
it's
like,
all guys. It's an all
right, it's all
guys scene.
guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I would wind up on film with two of my friends and the three of us doing something sexual. And I think I was probably be the only black guy in the woods. If I remember, I don't remember seeing any black guys
I
in the
don't remember.
woods.
Well, the thing is that it was so not you're not gonna remember who any of those people were because it's just funny that they're running off when the lights go on.
Right. But I saw, like I
Mhm.
said, when I saw my friends, oh, I recognized them. So I knew that anybody else would recognize me. Because that was what he said. He goes, nobody's going to recognize you. Good morning, Mr. Kaufman. He goes, nobody's going to recognize you. And
Yeah.
everything's so fast. But of course, he's saying that before editing. You
Uh-huh.
know, editing is what makes the movie. You can shoot just about anything you want, but it's once it goes into the editing process that things stand out or get deleted. And all of
Mhm.
a sudden, there's a freeze frame and it's a close up of my face. It's like, I didn't,
Yeah.
I I was not going to do. And it's not even the fact that it is now, if I lived in Hollywood, I would have done it because I wasn't a prude. I mean, back in the '90s, I used to have my clothes were off half the time anyway.
Yeah.
Because that was back when I still had my stripper body. I would You couldn't keep my clothes on me. Are you kidding? I'm going to the market. We put something on. Why? Everybody else was paying to see this. I'm letting them see this in the fruits and vegetable aisle for free. No, don't no. And bike shorts are not clothes. Put on, because I was in the '90s. I was always wearing bike shorts. That was like my
Yeah.
go-to. God. I miss having a six pack or an eight pack. I miss that.
Oh, you could get it back
No, I can't. I can't.
if
No,
you
I
really wanted
can't.
to.
I've given
You
up on
really,
it.
really wanted to.
And also, I have surgery scars, which really bug me. And I've never got because I don't know if you have any surgery scars.
Oh, I have a lot. Yeah.
Okay, but where are they? You don't mind? Mine's on my stomach.
Yeah, I have one on my
And
stomach that goes it's about 8 inches right through the middle of my abdomen. Got one there.
okay,
And then I've got one through my neck right here.
now
I've
is
got
that from a suicide attempt or is that actual
No, I know
surgery?
how to do it, so that would be a stupid way to
Oh,
go. Your
okay,
trachea is right here, you would just cut your trachea first, so that would be a
right.
stupid way to go.
Yeah, yeah, that's like you tell people,
Yeah.
don't do it. You don't do it like that. You do it like when you do
Yeah,
this, your arteries go back behind the bone. They sink in. You want to do it with your neck relaxed and probably
yeah.
do a vertical slit. Same with the wrist. You don't do that because then your veins are. I'm sorry, I'm giving lessons. So
Yeah, no, you gotta go up higher. You should go up higher on the brachial artery anyway, not the wrist, so but
right,
anyway,
yeah.
that's not the point. The point No, when I broke my neck, the process broke off. It was called the odontoid process of the second cervical vertebrae that broke
Right.
off. So they had to go back
Okay.
in and reattach it with a screw, and they went in anteriorly.
Wow. Did that? How long did it bother you? Like a lot of like a lot of surgeries that involve metal, when there's like barometric pressure changes and stuff like that, there's usually aches and pains. Did you have that?
No, no, it's
Oh,
just one
okay.
screw, and no, I get headaches all the time with any changes in pressure, but
Yeah, but you're married. That's you expect that.
uh, I had those before her. They're just
Oh.
exacerbated. They're just exacerbated with her. That's
And,
different.
teasing. We love you, Swan.
She's not listening. It's fine.
Oh, and she may
She's
watch
not listening.
later.
It's
She may
okay.
watch later.
But yeah, speaking of memorable scenes, you know how you say that there's the second Suicide Squad movie.
Okay.
The first one was Will Smith. The second one was Idris Elba.
Right.
And my son was in Georgia at the time, and he got to be in that movie as one of the people in one of the soldiers. You know how at the
Okay.
end when that giant star whatever fish thing attacks and there's all
Right.
those soldiers.
Yeah.
So he calls me and he's like, "Hey Dad, I bumped into Idris Elba today." I'm like, "On accidentally? Did you apologize?" He's like, "No, in the movie I bump into Idris Elba, so we'll have to see if it's in the movie." And that scene is in the movie. It's a very memorable scene. So I'm like, "Oh my god, that is cool," because he's standing there in the midst of them. And after they've got they have the little starfishes on their face and they're all
Right.
zombies, and
Yeah.
somebody bumps Idris Elba really hard like this, and he goes back like that, and it's my son. It's the back. You can
Now,
see the back.
so how tall is Idris Elba compared to your son?
Idris Elba's pretty tall, right? He had to be taller. He has to be taller than my son. My son's like 6 foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Idris Elba is taller than 6 foot, isn't
Yeah,
he?
I think so too.
He's a pretty tall guy. I mean, they look, but and also my son's wearing a helmet, so that's going to give him some height, but
Right. Okay.
and boots. So I'm sure that made him probably like 6'1" or 6'2".
It's funny. There's because I've known quite a few people go like Idris Elba is so sexy. I said it's the voice. If you take away the voice, he's not that sexy. He's average. But you add the
God,
accent.
don't be jealous of Idris Elba.
I'm not jealous. I'm just
Probably
saying
one of
there's
the
some
nicest
people.
people in Hollywood.
I'm just saying I'm not saying he's not nice. I'm pretty sure he's wonderful. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never met him. He seems to be nice. He has a nice quality in his voice when he talks. Because some people you can hear the dickishness in their voice. You
Oh
hear a
yeah,
voice,
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
I
He's
don't hear that in
sweet.
his voice. I hear genuine joy in his voice.
Yeah, you
But
can
I'm
definitely tell.
saying in the black community, he's just average looking. You add his voice, you add the accent, and then he gets like an extra 3 point bump. And he
Yeah, but
goes
half the
from
time you
like
don't get to hear his accent. Half the time he's doing an English, an American accent.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When I heard his American accent, I'm like, what's the big deal? But then turned on the English accent. Him actually talking is like he went from a 6 to a 9.
Mm. Some people will call that a 69.
So to recap, oh, I am going to do news at 10 o'clock.
News
Replay the
at
news.
10
Yeah,
in
just
just a few
only, and
seconds.
that's only because I spent 45 minutes producing this news segment, and damn it, I'm gonna use it twice.
Good. All right. I'm down with the
So
news. I was
yeah.
trying to look at some interesting news, medical news that I could relate to the crowd, but you guys are too dumb to understand it.
Oh no,
Oh,
you could do
did
medical
I
news.
did I say that out loud? I had a head injury, so I don't really have much of an inner monologue, so I will just say stuff. Did I just call the audience dumb? I feel like I did. I don't know
Yeah,
that.
but they're not
I don't
smart
know
enough
that
to
for a
realize you
fact.
did
Oh.
it.
Half the battle is realization.
Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, but since I spent, I mean, it's a 3 minute news segment, but I spent an
Ooh,
hour doing it, so damn, we're going to play it and listen to it.
I'm down.
And at least, and it's not AI. It's not AI. This is real. There we go. And now the news with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. This is the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with the news and snark for September 11th, 2025. Charlie Kirk, the founder of the right-wing youth activist group Turning Point USA and a close ally of unregistered sex offender Donald Trump, was fatally shot on Wednesday afternoon while speaking at a university campus event in Utah. Eyewitnesses told The Guardian that Kirk was being questioned about mass shootings when he was shot in the neck. Kirk said he was against them, so the shooter stopped at one, out of respect. At least 4 students were injured after a shooting at a high school in Evergreen, Colorado, on Wednesday afternoon, according to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. The shooter is a student at the school who used a revolver handgun to shoot fellow students. No details about the suspected shooter, including the suspect's age or gender, are available at this time. Kash Patel is trying to manufacture a link between the shooter and any liberal transgender immigrant person. West Nile virus infections are intense so far this year, with case counts running 40% higher than normal, health officials say. RFK Jr. is relying on herd immunity to protect U.S. citizens because he heard that saying the word immunity is more effective than immunization. The leader and other emissaries of Iglesia La Luz del Mundo, or LLDM, because I'll be damned if I'm going to say that twice, abused the power, doctrine, and structure of the megachurch to sexually abuse generations of girls, boys, and women, according to prosecutors in New York. The indictment named LLDM leader Nelson Joaquin Garcia, who is currently serving a prison sentence in California after being convicted of sexually abusing young followers, and 5 others who were being arrested Wednesday in various locations, law enforcement officials said. The Trump administration is caught between a rock and a rock-hard place. On the one hand, Garcia is a Hispanic criminal and should be deported. On the other hand, Garcia is a convicted child sex offender, which qualifies him for a cabinet post in the Trump administration. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals on Wednesday upheld a New Jersey law that barred carrying firearms in so-called sensitive places like schools and public gatherings. Other sensitive areas like your taint, under boobs, and butt cracks were excluded in the 139-page decision. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with the news and snark for September 11th, 2025. Happy anniversary, and don't forget your 9/11 greeting cards.
Yay!
I feel like that was time well spent on your part. That was a great news segment.
Thank you.
You should do that every day.
I don't know if I can. I used to do critical joke theory here back in the day, live on Fridays, and I stopped doing it because when I did it live, first of all, I had slides to go with it, and so I was doing a slideshow live while I was reading it, and I was having difficulty doing both live at the same time. And not only that, Matt was constantly interrupting me, constant. Matt and whoever else was. Oh yeah, back then it was Willie. It's like I would say something and they would like interrupt automatically, or I would say something and make a snarky comment, and then they'd add a snarky comment, and so the news segment went from 5 minutes to like 15 minutes. It's like, and then sometimes I would do it, and Matt wouldn't even have it on the show. And I was like, I can't do this, because it took me hours to produce that segment.
Yeah.
To do the research, to do the writing, the snark, and the slide presentation. And then Ron was also doing, at that time, Ron was there, and he was doing the Hollywood news.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there was just for me, it's just too much work for me to be ignored. I said, I'm not going to keep doing it. And it was difficult. So I just did it on just on the side, but then I got so busy I stopped doing that. But it is a lot of work,
that was really good. I mean, that's one of those things where you're like, if you could do a segment that was relative it's hard to do it obviously every day, but that was pretty good. You should probably go apply to be on the Daily Show.
That I think I'm not sure they would take me at my age. I'm 66, 65. I'll be 66 in November. But
I mean, you're actually assuming that's like magical thinking where you're assuming you would actually get an interview for the Daily Show.
well, I think no, I think actually I think I know one or two people that might at least get me in the door to be interviewed.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I would pass
that
the
one guy's
interview.
from Kalamazoo. What's his name? Oh God, what the hell's his name? He's always on. God damn it! I'm sorry, dude. I forgot your name.
What's he look like?
He's the tall guy with tall hair.
Oh, Klepper.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's Klepper. Yeah, it's funny. As tall as he is, he makes himself taller with the hair.
yeah. Jordan Klepper.
Jordan Klepper.
Yep, he's from Kalamazoo.
Okay. Yeah, I had it's like I don't think I have anybody. Well, actually, I don't know that the person that I knew is at the Daily Show anymore. They were they were a writer, I think, but you would never see them. They were like backstage, back writer. Actually, because they work for Comedy Central.
Okay.
They worked for Comedy Central.
Daily Show people work really hard.
Yeah.
They work very hard to try to have relevant content for their show. It's pretty amazing.
As a matter of fact, that person was supposed to. I was doing a show, and they were supposed to come down to see a show that I was performing in, and it was unfortunately it was during the winter. I was like, "Why are you coming from New York to Maryland in the winter?" And they didn't make it, and they never came back. So I guess they found the person they were looking for somewhere else.
Or they're dead. They might have died. You don't know.
Yeah, this could be. Yeah,
This could be death.
yeah.
And I, for one, welcome that for all of us. Thank you.
Oh well, I'm not looking forward to it. I still have things I want to do.
Why? Think it over.
No,
Human race contributes nothing to the universe.
Well, that I agree. We are invasive species. We're like fire. I think that we are more like fire now. In the Matrix.
Yeah, we're a virus.
Yeah, he called us a virus. But I don't think of that. I don't think of that as a virus because viruses evolve, and some of them will weaken themselves to keep the host alive longer. Over time, they become a weaker version of themselves, and the host remains alive so that they can survive. But I think we're more like fire. Fire does not care that it extinguishes its fuel as long as it burns. Not that fire actually cares.
But fire can bring life, though, also. I mean, that's why we have controlled fires as well. Like they used to do controlled fires at Fort Bragg. They do them all over. There's fire science, and some things that fire can promote additional growth. I mean, that is carbon, which enriches the soil. And apparently, after fires go through, a lot of animals like to go through and eat. I don't know.
The other roasted animals.
Toasted acorns.
The other roasted animals.
Apparently, there's a lot of good eating after a little controlled fire has gone through. I'm assuming like nuts and roots and things like that. So
yeah, and it destroys a lot of the old stuff and new stuff can grow through. I understand that, but it's still much more. I think people are more akin to fire than to a virus. At least in our behavior, we do things and we don't care about the consequences. It's not that fire deliberately tries to make 8 roasted acorns for the squirrels to eat and stuff like that. Fire is just burning. But viruses over time, not that they make conscious decisions, but they evolve to at least let the host live longer so that they can live longer. Fire doesn't do that. Fire just burns. Fire has not evolved over time.
Fire gives life, though.
But
if we didn't have fire,
if
we didn't have fire, where would we be as the human race in general?
If you had heat, you could still have life. You didn't have to have fire to have that. You could have a chemical reaction and have heat.
Suppose, but I feel like ancient man would disagree with you and say fire was pretty damn important.
That's just because they were all what's the thing called when you like to set fires?
Other pyromaniacs?
Yes, they're pyromaniacs.
Sure.
That's all. That's science. And this is why we're number 3 in science, because we take on the deep
You guys take on
issues
the
of
deep,
science.
deep questions,
Yeah, we
bringing
take
it
on the
back to
deep
science.
yes.
Are you guys really number 3 in science?
We were ranked number 3 in science on some podcast poll, and I love that. I love the fact that we're rated number 3 in science.
It must be some like very strict category. Like, who assigns these categories anyway? Like, our podcast is designated as an improv podcast.
Well,
Okay.
it's because there's no script.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's
I was like, who does it? I'm like, how does that get designated? I'm like, how did they decide that we were an improv podcast? It's very interesting. I don't understand all the nuances of the algorithms that decide those things.
Well, I don't either. But to be honest, I really hate labels. I hate boxes. I like to use labels as a shorthand and a shortcut, especially when you're doing humor and comedy,
Mhm.
because it helps people not to think. But a lot of times I do things to make people think on purpose in my comedy. You know,
Mhm.
I like smart people in the audience. I really love smart people in the audience. If I don't have smart people in the audience, most of my comedy just dies. It
Yeah.
just boom flat.
Yeah, I had one. I did a set once, and I hadn't been doing comedy that long. I bet I don't even know if it had been a year. Maybe it was a year. And I did a set, and afterwards, the producer of the show, who's a really nice guy, Dave Jones, he came up to me. He's like, that was really funny. He's like, that's some high level shit. He's like, they are not ready for that. So I'm like, that was a good compliment, and also a dig on your audience at the same time.
Well, see, and this is I don't get booked into black rooms locally, and the reason for this, like the person, because we didn't really have any black rooms per se in our area. We had
Mhm.
rooms. They were just
Yeah.
rooms. And then one guy decided that we should, one black comedian decided that we should have black rooms, for black, just like they was trying to Apollo up some areas, or make an Apollo type thing. And so he he saw me participate in a competition, and I hate competition. This one was rigged from the very
Yeah.
beginning. There are 3 judges, and I was watching before the thing. I'm watching, and the judges are schmoozing with the comedians.
Huh.
I said, "No, you don't do that. You want to go in cold. You want to be able to cut their throat if you have to. You don't want to sit there." And they were like schmoozing, and those are the very ones that went through. They didn't schmooze with me, and I wouldn't schmooze with the. I I have ethics. I would not schmooze with the judges. I wanted to be
Yeah.
judged on my merit, straight up on my merit. That's it. I do not like someone said, "Well, they're my friend. I'll put them on the show." I was like, "No, but are they good? Are they funny?"
Yeah.
I don't see. I can understand. It's like, okay, I have 2 people to pick from. They're both funny. I'm gonna pick my friend. That I understand. But
Sure.
if you have like, this guy's funny, this guy's my friend, I'm gonna pick my friend. That's no.
No, that
You
doesn't
tell
work.
If he's your friend, you say to him, "Look, once you get up here, I'll put you on.
Right.
But you're here. I can't use you. I'll help you get here, but you're not here yet. You're here." That's what you do for your friend. So, but
Yeah,
after
I
when I
think that's a lost on a lot of people that you actually have to be funny to get booked. But yeah.
so I after the competition, I'm this guy, this Booker, he's a comedian. He comes up to me and he says, "You're really funny, but I really feel like I need a thesaurus to understand what you're saying." And then later, years later, he starts a room, and I asked him if I can get booked on his room. He goes, "I don't think my audience is smart enough for you." Now, and that's first of all, that took that was like a slap in the face, because one thing, his audience is like an all black room. He
Mhm.
doesn't think an all black room is smart enough for my humor. That's the first thing. So he's
Yeah.
saying they're ignorant. The second thing, he doesn't think that I'm diversified enough to, let's say, dumbing down was an issue, that I could dumb down my material.
Right.
You know, so that's the second slap. And the third slap is motherfuckers just say he doesn't want to book me. Then just say it. Don't. But he had to throw the other stuff in.
See, I don't think that that's true, that they don't get the comedy. I think that they're
Right.
not used to that type of comedy. And when you go to a black room, they're doing what I call silly comedy.
Right. And
Um,
loud
and
comedy. Silly and loud. Yeah.
So they're not used to your type of comedy. Whereas my opinion is, and I always get upset because I don't get upset, but I'm always like, why doesn't anybody ask me to go do it? Like I never get to do black rooms. And I really want to do black, Hispanic, whatever. Like I really want this huge mixture of diversity, because if they're not used to seeing that type of comedy, even if I'm the
Right.
only one who does that type of comedy, and let's say they're like, they don't know how to respond to that. If I'm exposing them to that type of comedy, then eventually they're going to have a good mix of comedians instead of just having everybody do the same thing. It's the same thing with white rooms. I don't want to hear 5 white dudes go up there and talk about their dick and dating apps, or
Right.
the one woman that goes up there and talks about how her pussy's so wet. I'm like, come on, guys. And this is why they don't get booked. Like I don't book
Right.
them because I'm like, no, there's
Because
nothing unique.
I've seen
Yeah,
it, and it wasn't that wet.
yeah.
Of
There's
course,
nothing
I
unique.
may have dried it up. It may have been
Yeah.
her looking at me that dried it up. So let's be.
But if there's nothing unique about what you're doing, so I know I was talking. I had an hour-long conversation with one of my buddies the other day, who's a really good comedian. So I kept telling him, like, because he does comedy in Detroit all the time. I'm like, take me fucking with you, dude. If you're gonna go, tell me when you're going and take me so that I can go do these rooms. Because I'm so tired of the same shit.
Right.
Like every time I walk into a room, it's like, oh fucking. And I hate. This is what I really hate too. Is I hate being at a show and there's one black comedian and they go up there and they like, what's up, white people? I fucking
Yeah.
hate that, because
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, motherfucker, I'm not fucking white. So,
You're
and
the
usually they do
victimized
acknowledge,
fan.
yeah,
You're the
and that, and
victimized
usually
fan.
they're like, oh, okay, they're be Ben's brown, whatever, but I'm like, fuck off, stop saying that. I don't like it. I'm not going to go up to a crowd of, I might start doing it just to fuck with them though, because they all do it. I might just
Right.
start like, hey, white people, and one black dude. Like, because it's just, yeah, it's so crazy.
now, I like I said, I've done black rooms, and I am self-aware that I do not sound like the typical black person. The stereotype. I don't sound like that. I know that from just but and so quite often, one of the first things I'll say is, yes, I know what I sound like. And yes, I did learn to fight and take a punch as a child. So
Mhm.
that's it. I know what I sound like, but I do well. I do well in black rooms. I
Yeah,
do well in rooms in general. It doesn't make, because also I'm making slight adjustments on the fly if I have to.
yeah. And see, I'm the opposite, where I'm like, I'm not going to make any adjustment. Well, I mean, like, I don't adjust it for anybody other than hosting. Like hosting, I adjust my comedy because I can't do. You can't be the first person who goes up who's getting the audience going. Who's a gal? If you're a gallows humor comedian, it doesn't work as a host.
Right.
You got to go up and be different. And I'm okay with it doing that way. But it doesn't matter what room I do. If I was doing an actual set, I want to do exactly my comedy.
Right.
So that they know that they're like, oh, hey, if you like dark comedy, if you see me on a set, you're like, oh, Beef Man's going to do dark comedy. He might be the only one who does it or whatever, but that people are going to know that when they see me. And I think that's starting to kind of happen locally, where people know that. I've had people will introduce me as like, the darkest comedian we know, or whatever, or some people will call me like, King of Darkness or what. I don't know. They were saying a bunch of stuff when I come up, and I'm like, okay, so people finally start to know that that's what I'm going to do when I go up there.
Yeah, but your dark humor is funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be funny. The
Yeah.
also other thing is, when people do it, you're listening to it. Obviously, it's the idea that people think that all your comedy has to be true. Obviously, mine's not true. It's just my dark thoughts. I'm not burying people in my backyard. Um,
What? I
yeah, I
see.
don't.
I'm just so disillusioned. I
Yeah,
don't know if I can trust you
there's
anymore.
no one buried in my backyard. I would never. I mean, yes, would I hurt people if they needed to be hurt, but like, I'm not
I
gonna
thought I
attention.
thought we were kindred spirits. I believed you. I thought we were kindred
Oh, you
spirits.
believed everything I said, huh? Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, I mean mine is 90. I call mine Hollywood true.
Mhm.
Like when it's everything I say is true, but if I did the actual story in the real time that it happened, I'd be on stage like 60 years. So I'm compressing it like they do in Hollywood. I'm compressing it for the
Sure.
audience. Um, but yeah, when I do, so that's the other thing. I'll do things. Uh, I had one guy said that was a really funny bit. I want you, can I want to book you for like a room in Virginia, wherever it was. He says, but can you change that guy to a black guy and make him say this? And I said, no, because this is
No.
a true story. I said,
Yeah.
I said, no, this is a true story. He goes, yeah, well, it'd be funnier. At first, it didn't make it funnier. I said, he goes, it makes it funnier. I said, I don't. If I wanted to make it funnier, I would have made it up from the beginning. But
Yeah.
this is true, and I'm just making it funnier than the truth.
Mhm.
That's it. I'm not I'm not going to doctor it. It's
Yeah.
like my mother died in 2015. I'm not going to say that she didn't die just to make the stories funnier. So
Mhm.
it's like, well, it's funny if she's not dead. Is it because I don't feel sympathy? You're like, well, stop feeling sympathy. She
Yeah.
died because she.
I think the
But
nice thing about my comedy is that everybody, I think when they listen to it, they know it's so outrageous that it's not true.
right,
But there are parts of it that are true. And so, who's going to know what's true and what's not true? And most of my comedy is based on where my mind automatically goes from situations that I'm in. I'm
right,
like, you remember the Wonder Years?
yeah. I
The
didn't
show
see
The
it.
Wonder Years?
I remember it. I never
So
saw it.
there was a show called The Wonder Years with Fred Savage. He's a little kid, and this is in the this is in the 60s and 70s, early 70s. He's
It was
grown
set.
up.
It was set in the 60s, and right.
Yeah, 60s and 70s. Yeah, because it's
In
just
the
the
80s and 90s.
Vietnam
Right.
War was getting ready to go on. Yeah, it was on in the 80s, early 90s, 80s, in the 80s. And he would have these periods of time where he would, there would be a regular scene, stuff is going on, and then all of a sudden the scene just got really crazy. Something really off the wall would happen, but it was his imagination,
Right.
and then he would snap back to reality. Well, that's how it is for me throughout my whole life, throughout, all these years, probably more since my head injury. But my mind will go somewhere else when somebody says something to me. And that's what I find funny, and that's what I make a joke out of. Like, I do this joke about how I was seeing this patient because I see weight loss patients, not anymore, but I was seeing weight loss patients a few times a week. And, those visits got really emotional. A lot of times people would get, you know, sometimes they would cry, that sort of thing. And this patient was telling me that they had started intermittent fasting, but I heard intermittent fisting. So
Yeah.
I did a joke about that, and I did that joke at Dr. Grins for the medical people, and they were dying because they're like, they thought it was funny because it's
Yeah.
just
It is a funny joke. Yeah, I heard it.
yeah.
It's a funny joke.
Because really, when you're seeing the same thing over and over again, like if somebody tells you something, my mind just automatically goes somewhere else because everything's repetitive. Or like I was on this other platform where people could, they put their chief complaint in, and then you take the visit and you go in. Well, this patient put down as her chief complaint poison. And so immediately in my mind, I'm thinking about, okay, this lady's going to poison someone. She needs to know how to do it to get away with it. What advice am I going to give her? This is going to be an exciting visit for me. And then I connect and she had poison ivy.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, and I even told her, because I joke around with my patients,
right.
because I told her, I was like, I was really excited because I thought you wanted my advice on how to poison someone, but you just have poison ivy. And she's like laughing her head off, so that's where, and then I wrote a joke about that because that's where my mind goes.
Right.
As one patient was telling me about her allergies, and she said that she's like, yeah, I have these bad allergies because I'm a horse girl. And I could see her from her waist up. And so I go, is the lower half horse? And what she meant was that she likes horses. She's at a stable all the time. That's why she's got
Right.
allergies. I was
Right.
like, I'm like, is your bottom half a horse? And she's like laughing her head off because that's where my mind immediately goes. Well, you said you were a horse girl, and I can see you from the upper body, so you're clearly not. This part is not a horse. But that's how I write my jokes. Everything I see that's goofy. It doesn't even have to be goofy.
I remember the first paying gig I got. This was almost 11 years ago. My first paying gig, I opened and I was like just 7 minutes set, maybe 7 to 10 minutes. I can't remember, but I just know it was my first paying gig. And I had 19, I had 14 to 19. I'm trying to think. I had 19 people in the audience who came to see me that night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And they were all from work. And 14 of them came with one friend. One friend of mine got 13 other people from work to come see me. And then another friend of mine brought the rest and his family. So basically 2 people brought all these people to see me.
Nice.
So the woman who became the fan club at my job, but the GD Finison, president of GD Finison fan club at work, she, after I was done, well, the set was it was a true story taken out of the news. I just added stuff to it to make it funny.
All right.
And afterwards, she goes, and as a matter of fact, it was about Rupert Darwin, the guy in California who got arrested for having sex with a 12-foot alligator.
Oh,
It was that story,
okay.
Rupert Darwin from Collier County.
Strange. His
And
last name was Darwin.
yeah, see, and that's one of the references I make, that somebody with the last name of Darwin was not evolved enough to rape an alligator.
Exactly.
To not right. So I
He
went there
back.
as well.
Went back in time.
And so I do afterwards I'm doing like a little meet and greet. And she goes, "You are hilarious." And I think you did about the guy raping the alligator. That was hilarious. I said, "Well, actually, it's out of the news." And I said that. I said it was, I'd say it was the newspaper. I guess they thought I made that up. The Collier County Times, or whatever it was. She goes, "It's really hilarious." And I went, "Thank you." But I took it out of the newspaper. I just added stuff to it to punch it. I just punched it up. She goes, "Oh, then you're not as funny as I thought."
Well, real life is pretty funny, lady. Believe it or not. I heard though that alligator was so overcome with emotion that it actually like fainted. So and said that it was really hot. It was hot. So hot.
Well, she was very hot. Yeah. See.
Stupid. Oh my gosh. Speaking of comedy, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's not that important. I have a lot of shows coming up. How are you doing on shows? You got shows coming up, or
My next show is November 20th.
November 20th? And this is your old fart show?
This is the Funny Old Farts show.
The Funny Old Fart Show.
And I'm going to be streaming it. I'm going to be doing it live in Pennsylvania, but streaming it on Plausible.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to start getting on Plausible. Now that I'm off, my schedule changed. So now I'm going to be off one day during the week, each week. It'll either be a Monday or a Thursday, but that means I end up every other weekend. I have to work all weekend, which is going to suck, but I can finally do stuff during the week now to build our company and to actually go see the doctor and the dentist and all those things. But yeah, I got to get on Plausible and start taking some classes on there, which will be fun.
Yeah.
They got that open mic where you can do it, and then everybody tells you how you did on your open mic or some shit.
Yeah, they got that too. Yeah,
that would be fun to do.
And this, like, I'm headlining that show. And what I'm doing different for that show, again, most people don't do things like this. Is at the very end, I'm having all 4 of us come back on stage together, and we're going to sing a song parody of Short People, but we're calling it old. But we're calling it Old People. I
always say, yeah, they have no reason to live. Sure, great.
Well, I think my line is, they have less reasons to live. Because I was going to say no reasons to live. I went, that's a little but
don't worry, this is America. We'll keep you alive.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You'll be miserable, but we'll keep you alive. Rest assured. And it's going to cost a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. So I've already written the lyrics. I just have to learn to play the song on the guitar.
Have you thought about just writing a one-man show?
I do write one-man shows.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, you call them other things. I was just wondering if you just thought about writing like a one-man show. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, most of my shows are one-man shows.
I don't mean just because you're the only person on it. I mean, like, market it as a one-man show and see who would pick it up and like send a tape to, different places.
The problem is I've always had, I need somebody much better at producing like video and sound than I am. Because I've had every single thing I've done, there's always been an issue that I didn't catch till post-production.
Yeah.
And I'm not smart enough. Well, I'm not able to catch these things in real time because I'm performing, and so, like the last one I recorded, I'm doing the show at a theater, and the sound person is in the audience. They're not in the sound room. There's a sound room where they can, have headphones, and there's a glass that they can see the stage, but they were in the audience laughing. And so what they didn't realize for that particular show was that the audience was mic'd, and before the show I had like a CD. It was a loop CD. It was like it was like a 60 mils of loop for just so the audience got something to listen to while they're being seated. They're supposed to turn it down so that you don't hear it. They turned it down so the house didn't hear it, but it was still blending into the audience track. So the audience laughter and stuff had music over top of it, and not just music, but copyrighted music, songs. Yeah, I could never use. And so the audience track is picked up from my mic again. And each time, and that has been like a problem each time. There's always something weird going on. And I've done three shows like that, and each one of them had an issue with the audio.
Yeah. I tell you, I think that what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to get a professional video camera, like not super high level, but like a nice HD camera. And I think I'm going to start filming shows, like actually be the one who films them, like behind it, and then try to, edit it.
This is a 4K camera.
Okay.
It's not so bad. It's actually it's good, but it's also like it's a 4K camera. I had to get the extended battery pack so it lasts longer than an hour and 10 minutes. So because now they're running for but I usually plug it in, but sometimes there's not a plug near where I want to be.
Yeah.
So, and I like it, I don't remember how much I paid for it.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the next, investment for our business, I think, because I want to be able to get some really good footage. The problem is a lot of places, the lighting is also bad, and I'm not any expert on lighting whatsoever. And I can't obviously go change someone's lighting.
Right.
So work with what you got. But I know the place that we're at currently, the Cricket, in Battle Creek, downtown Battle Creek, Michigan, Upstairs Lounge and Comedy Club. We have a problem with lighting, and we got to get somebody in there who knows lighting to fix it for us, which the owner knows. So he's like, God, our lighting's terrible. I'm like, I don't know what to do about it because I'm not a lighting person. So we got to get somebody in there who's really good with lighting. Actually, my son knows how to do lighting. I need to beg him to go there and check it out.
Now that's one of my concerns when I go to small venues, small clubs. Matter of fact, because I'm a nobody, the places where I got booked to like a headline were small venues. But sometimes I go in and I would check them out a week in advance and I'll watch a show. And that's what got me to buying my own lights, my own microphones and stuff like that, my own mic stands. Because I go into these places and I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work for me because I'm Black. They're not going to see my face. I will be backlit. And I need them to see my face because of facial expressions. Sometimes my punchline is not a word. It's actually not saying it. It's the facial expression. And so I need them to see my face. Otherwise, they're not going to see the punchline or whatever. So I bring my own lights, my own microphones, my own, now my own PA system, It's so I could go into these small clubs, and even though they're not set up for that kind of thing, I can light it, with I have like 300-foot extension cords because sometimes they don't have power on the stage, and I got my duct tape. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do for like our open mics, obviously we take everything with us. One of them, our open mic, I actually bought a stage too. We actually have a portable
Oh
stage.
yeah.
But we leave that at the venue because it's friggin' 50 pounds and I don't like hauling it back and forth, and they let me leave it there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it here. But I'm hosting in Decatur, Michigan at the end of the month, and I'm hosting because I'm, bringing the equipment. So it's some company that sends
Right.
hosts to different places, I guess. And so I'm going to do that where I take all my equipment because I have all the equipment and a spotlight and all that other stuff, and I'll host the venue and set up the show. So it should be fun.
Yeah, that's the one.
I already do that. I mean, it's what I already do for, open mics and stuff. So same thing.
Yeah. And it's just going to pay you more.
Yeah, I actually get paid.
Yeah.
Instead of funding it myself, I'm actually getting paid to go do that. So I'm like, oh, damn, I get money. Wow. That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah. So it's, so I've gotten used to small venues and setting up the lights and stuff like that. And I, that's the one thing that COVID did screw. And I think COVID was something that did to screw over my comedy career, because I think I take it personally, because I was doing pretty decent before COVID. I had there's small clubs that I would go do,
Yeah.
and then COVID hit, and a lot of these places just got shut down. They're under new management. I can't make the same connections, and they're like now there's like 10 times as many comedians as there were back before COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly 10 times. I think it's probably literally 3 times as many people who call themselves comedians.
Sure.
I mean, I have worked with over 5,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
Over well over 5,000.
Yeah.
I said I had pictures of all of them of us in my computer. I had to delete all those files because it's like I'm not keeping all these comedians in my computer. I need the space.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty amazing. I'm like, if you don't go from the producer side, if you're not actually going to watch people, I don't know how you're producing shows. Unless you're getting unless you're getting hit up by bookers who are like, oh, put this person on. I'm like, well, I've never seen them. I don't know if they're fucking funny.
Right.
Or people will send me clips. I'm like, clips are great, but tell me where you're going to be next so I can go see you. Because I don't really want to see a clip.
Right.
Half the time I won't even watch it. I'll watch it for like 2 minutes. I'm like, I'd rather see you in person.
And that's it.
But then just the short period of time that I've been doing it, just off the top of my head, I made a list of people that I want to put on a showcase at the Cricket, because we were only planning on doing showcases until we have a good crowd, and then we can start doing features and headliners. And I have 50 people that were just off the top of my head. I just just wrote them down. So yeah, you just come in contact with a lot of people, and you got to keep track of them. And if they're funny, they'll stick out in your mind. If they're not, then what are you gonna do about it?
Well, I have only had one person on this. I don't know how many shows I've produced, but I've only had one person that I did not see in person on the show, and they came highly recommended by someone I highly respected.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, and so I mean, the person who recommended them, I'm going to say her name. I call her Queen Elizabeth Croydon. Um, the first time I saw her do comedy, it was at an open mic, and I went, "Oh my God, that is how I want my comedy to come off." She was so fucking smart and so fucking funny, and I said, "That's how I want my comedy to come off. I want people to see how smart I am, but also be funny like that."
Yeah.
And she inspired me, but we didn't become friends like that. Honestly, I think first of all, I did not know that she was as big a deal as she was. I just thought she was just another comedian,
Mhm.
and I felt like I was discovering her at an open mic. I did
Okay.
not know that she'd barely been doing comedy for like 10 years already or something. Yeah, I felt like, oh, I discovered this woman named Elizabeth Croydon. She's really funny. She's really smart, and I want my comedy to be like her. So
Yeah.
I tried to friend her. And I don't, like I said, but I don't easily make friends. It's hard for me to make friends with people.
Yeah.
Um,
Because people suck.
yeah, but I really liked her,
Basically, people suck.
and I don't even know how we stayed friends. Honestly, don't, because it's not like we actively tried to stay friends, but I
Mhm.
never forgot how good she was, and I think she was headlining. That's what started us being friends again. I think, or being closer friends. She was headlining, and one of the people, I showed up, I bought tickets to show up to
Yeah.
watch her, and I was in the back room talking to her, and one of the people, the feature, didn't make it. But was it a feature? No, it wasn't. The opener didn't make it. So she asked me, she says, "Do you want to open for me?" I'm like, "Sure." And after that, she goes, you know, you're really funny, and we stuck, so we stayed friends. But she's much, much better than I am, especially since with her and I, it's almost like an apples to apples comparison.
Oh.
I mean, it's not like if you're comparing me to, let's say, comparing me to you. You tell jokes, and I'm more like a short story kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an apples to apples. That's more like an apple to pomegranate or something like that. We both grow on a tree, and we both have roots, but the fruit is a little bit different, even though they both are delicious. But with Liz, it's like apples are apples, and in her case, she's like a Red Delicious, and I'm kind of like a Granny Smith. I'm not as delicious as the Red Delicious. She's very good at what she does.
It's all about taste.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's some people that like a Granny Smith better than a Red Delicious. I question their taste.
Yeah. I think it's a texture thing. Granny Smith is a bit harder to bite.
Yeah, but you can make a good pie with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
We get what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, thank you. Because I was running out of
analogies. Running out of analogies.
I was clear out of analogies. I was like, what the fuck? Thank you for rescuing me.
But no, I do the same thing. I've got some people that I really trust their judgment, and they're like, "Oh, you should check this person out." And then if I can see them, I'll go see them. Like, "Oh yeah, they're fucking funny." I've had a couple that I didn't see them, and I got his recommendations, and I was lucky on both of them. They were both very funny, so I was like, "Oh, good, I lucked out." But I generally try to see folks.
Right.
That's the best way to do it. Yeah. The other thing that I find interesting with some comedians is that, in this respect, like you're talking about with Elizabeth, you didn't know that she was, already doing the thing and probably pretty well known locally,
right.
or however well known she is,
coast to coast.
Yeah, coast to coast.
She's known on both coasts.
Yeah, so that's why, like, I like comedians that are all acting like normal people. It's the people that don't, and then you're like, you look them up and you're like, you're not a big deal at all, but you act like you are. There's a few of them that come visit the Kalamazoo area that are like that, and you're like, you're not a big deal, dude. I've sit there and talked with people who are actually actually making a living doing comedy, who are not dickheads and don't act like they're a big deal. So, yeah, it's so in general, I'm always like, oh, if you're a dick, you're a dick, and I don't care if you're big or not. I'm like, I'm not gonna associate with your bullshit. But the ones that aren't big, you're like, why are you acting like that? One, you shouldn't act like that anyway, even if you were a big deal, but you're not a big deal. So chill the fuck out.
It's funny because I guess you've heard of Barry Katz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had him on the screen, and I had Elizabeth Gordon on my phone, but we were texting back and forth, and I said, well, Liz, I'm in a Zoom call with Barry Katz, and she goes, tell him I said hi. Tell him I said hi to him and his wife. And I'm like, okay. So I said, Barry, just so you know, Elizabeth says hi to you and your wife. He goes, oh, I love Liz. And I'm that's I've never, oh, I love Liz. Tell her I said hi. So give her my love. I'm like, Barry sends his love. The guy that was on yesterday's show, Dan
Pasternak, that was a big deal too. I was like, yeah, they got Dan Pasternak on their show. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, Pasternak, yeah. Well, he's on the show because of Elizabeth Gordon.
Okay.
She reached out to him and said, you should do Coffee with the Dog, and he did it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and there was like same thing with like on the East Coast. So yeah, I think Rhonda
I'm looking to see when her next show is. Looks like she like a regular on something in New York.
I don't know. The next thing I know, she does do New York periodically, and she just started doing her own podcast.
Okay.
And that's I wanted her to come on Coffee with the Dog to promote her podcast.
Yeah, that's what we need, more podcasters thinking they know, more comedians doing podcasts, thinking they're natural podcasters.
And yeah, And before she actually did it, before she started the podcast, she goes, "GD, I want you on there." I said, "Okay, great." And the one night that she scheduled, she had to cancel it, and I haven't been booked again since, Elizabeth.
Oh
Just for
no.
the record, just for
Oh
the record,
God.
Elizabeth, I have not been on your podcast. Just for the record.
I like to one of the guys on our podcast, JD, not GD, JD.
Yeah, he's out of California.
He's out of California. He's in Fresno. And we were talking about it once. He's like, "What do you think about all these comedians doing podcasts and all these people doing podcasts?" And I'd already been podcasting for a long time. And I was like, it's no competition. Nobody does. I'm like, we're in our own field. Yes, we're not famous, but they're going to drop off anyway. All they're doing is having their friends on and their friends on their friends. And they're saying the same bullshit on every episode. We're not in the same, we're not in the same league. Even if they're always going to beat us in ratings and everything, they're just not doing the same thing. There's not a competition um, because it's just gonna go away anyway. So I'm like, I fucking care. Uh, I mean, we have been ranked. There was a time there for quite a while where we were ranked. Oh God, some island nation. Just every month we were like in their top 3. I was like, this is fucking dope. I'm like, God, if we could just get ranked in the United States in the top 3. It was hilarious. It was just every month we were in the top 3, top 3, top 3. I was like, this is awesome. But we haven't been ranked in the U.S. in for quite a while. We made it in the top 300 in the U.S. a few times.
See, and I try not to like. I try not to get caught up in those things. I would like to have somebody in my corner who kept track of those kinds of things, but I don't want to keep track of them because, like, I know, like when I designed my website, one of the things they asked me, one of the options I turned down was a counter to see how many people visited my website. I said,
Yeah.
I don't want to know because in the very beginning it's going to be low, and I'll be like, oh, 2 people visited. Oh.
Yeah.
And this way, it's like, no, I'm just going to keep doing my website. I just do it. I just, I don't want to know how many people are visiting or not visiting because it can be very depressing if you let it in your head.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't worry about that stuff. It's just that, the one that we were, that was keeping track of the stats, you didn't have to do anything. Like if you made the top 300, they would send you an email and say, hey, you made the top 3. And then you could see where you were ranked. You didn't have to pay for it or anything. It was part of this platform that eventually went away, unfortunately. But I think what's going to happen now is I think we actually are going to hire someone for marketing, through Fiverr, which is a good place to hire people. We'll probably hire somebody for marketing monthly and just put that in get an actual budget. If I actually start making money doing comedy, that's where the budget's going to go. It's just going to go to marketing. Because we've been at it for 7 years. It's time for us to break, I think.
I know my intention when I started, because I started doing comedy so late, I never expected to be big. But my intention was when I formed So GD Funny LLC, my intention was to produce and promote comedy shows and to scout to discover other comedians. That was what I wanted because I knew I would never be discovered, but I wanted to do something for someone else that I couldn't do for myself.
Yeah.
That was my function of forming So GD Funny LLC. But and I understand why my wife hates comedy and comedians. I understand. I don't feel the same. I'm not numb to it because I'm aware of the backbiting and the crab mentality. I'm aware of it, the cliquishness, but I try not to let it bother me. But my wife is like, she'll goes, why are you doing that show? You know they disrespect you. I said, they don't like you. I said, yes, I do know they don't like me. And the only reason why they have you on is because they have the same old people all the time and they need somebody different. I said, I understand that. I know that.
Like, someone get us an old black guy stat.
Yeah, somebody gives an old black guy who doesn't do what everybody else is doing. Quick.
Right.
Is that And I was the break glass in case of emergency comedian for a lot of people. And now there are just so many people that there's no more emergency, so to speak. There's always somebody waiting in the wing, younger.
Yeah.
Who does the dick jokes that they want to hear. I don't do the dick jokes. I do penis commentary.
That just makes it sound like you're interviewing a penis. No, if people ask me to be on a show, I always just say why. Like, why? Why would you want me to be on the show? You know what my comedy's like. Most people don't get it, or they're shocked or scared. I mean, I did a little tiny show. It was a show, and I actually got paid for it. But it was still like a 7 minute. I think it was 7 minutes. It was either 7 or 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And after the show, I was handing out my stickers and promoting Slaptail Nation. And, I shook hands with this lady and gave her a sticker. And she's like, "You were terrifying." And I said, "Thank you." I'm like, "That makes me angry, which is my version of happy. So thank you."
I think there was another comedian after I shot one of my specials. I hate calling them specials because it's not like they're not going to be on TV. I call them specials because they're special to me. It was a 90-minute show that I recorded just to document the fact that I'm doing comedy. That's the only reason why I'm calling them specials. It's a 90-minute fucking show. That I recorded, and right after it was done, this comedian says to me, as a matter of fact, it's one of the quotes on my EPK about what people are saying about me, and he said I was I was deceptively creative and hilarious, and I said I really like that, deceptively creative, and that's because I've never been called deceptively creative before.
I don't know what that means.
I think he means he went on to describe it, but it's like I did things that other people you don't think of doing, and making it funny. I'll talk and see if I can find the picture. But there's the third comedy special the second one I did was called The Disillusionist, and it opens up with me being an infant inside of a womb. And so I talk to the audience through a vagina that I built as the infant. And the thing is, this was during Trump's first administration. This is 2018. So Trump had been president for a year then, because he got inaugurated in 2017. So let's see. So I start off with see if I can find it. I start off with me being, like I said, in a womb, and I stick my head out through the vagina to talk to the audience. And the idea is that I should be born, but I don't want to come out right now because Trump is still president. Because Trump is president, and so I'm having a political commentary through a vagina to the audience about why, as a young black baby, I don't want to be born in today's society. And the funny thing is, the comedians keep calling it my vagina dialogue. He goes, you still do the vagina dialogue? So that's actually a copyrighted thing.
Right.
I can't say I'm doing the vagina dialogue. Yeah, that's not. I can't. No, I'm not doing that. I can't. So it's something else altogether.
Oops. Probably should have muted myself.
Can I find it? I don't think I wish I knew where I put shit. You have shit in your thing not shit in your thing, but pictures you just don't know where you find them.
Yes.
Yeah, and I thought I had them. I thought I knew where they were. Oh, that's not it. That's definitely not going to be it. But anyway, fuck it. It's out there somewhere in the ether. But so I was just trying to find the picture of me sticking my head out through the vagina. But I built it at home, and I built it for a small scale so I could do it on. It's portable. It's like the vagina is only about 6 feet wide and about 6 feet tall. It's like a 6 foot square.
Now, does it look like your mom's vagina?
Oh no! That would be really, really. First of all, I used the thighs are dark brown, and my mom was high. My mother was like your complexion.
Oh, okay. Your mom was
light, bright, damn near white.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, it was not meant to look like my mom's vagina at all.
Oh.
Or my wife, who is also white. So
okay.
I deliberately did that. I deliberately went brown.
Like, this is the Latina vagina.
and so at one point I did like maybe 10 minutes talking to the audience through the vagina. And then I said, well, I'm sorry, where are my manners? Would you like to come in? And there was, yeah, we want to come in. So then I put my head back in the vagina and I turned the whole thing around. And now you're seeing the inside of the womb, and I'm attached with an umbilical cord to the inside. And I'm dressed in like not a onesie, but one piece. It's not actually not a one piece. It's two piece, but it looks like a one piece. It's all the same color. So that I could, again, I'm like I said. So now I'm an infant. You're seeing the inside of the womb from the audience, and on the inside of the womb, I have a sign that says, "No wire hangers ever," which is a nod to that movie.
Yeah, Mommy Dearest.
Mommy Dearest, right? And then there was a sign that said "Lost and Found," and then I had like a diaphragm and some condoms in the Lost and Found. So, and that's what he meant by creatively deceptive.
Okay.
You wouldn't expect that kind of stuff.
I feel like that's just creative.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever.
Deceptively. I like deceptively creative.
That's good, but but you know where my mind went on that though. I'm like, what? You're saying he's not good enough to be creative? It's not obvious that he's creative. He's deceptively creative.
And the weirdest thing is, I still have audience members who want me to bring their vagina back. They say, are you going to do another vagina thing? I'm like, a vagina thing. And the thing is, I don't know where else to go with that. Because it was specific to the time where Trump was, but now that Trump is back, and things have gotten a lot worse. I guess I could bring it back, but I don't know. It's because to me it's already been done. I don't feel like I can. It's not different to me anymore. It was like, to me it was unique, and I could do it better, but I can't. I don't have the materials to build a better vagina. I don't.
Well, there's plenty of people out there who are beating the same act to death. I mean,
yeah, and I don't know how to.
Doing the Dr. Phil shit. I'm like, dude, you beat that to death. I'm like, come on, but whatever. He's making bank, and I'm not making any money from entertainment. So, thankfully, I make my money other ways, like my actual job. But which is how I can afford to do comedy in the first place. So,
Well, I'm trying to see now. I'm trying to see if I can find a video, just so I can find a picture. Damn it!
For us, our grand scheme was always just the podcast. I did comedy to promote the podcast. Also, I mean, that was always a big thing. It still is the major focus is our podcast,
right?
Which I should probably get in the habit of mentioning now every time I do comedy.
You should, yeah.
Which I don't. Which I should. I'm like, yeah, I don't do enough promotion stuff when I go up there because I don't want to waste the time. You only have, you got a set amount of time. But I see a lot of comedians do that now. They slip that little commercial in at the end, which I'm like, I should put the commercial in at the beginning.
Well, when I'm promoting something, well, actually, I don't do that many open mics. So I think people understand now when they see me doing open mics, it's because I'm promoting a show.
And yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, you should be doing that.
So when I go out to do open mics, it's like, yeah, it's because I'm promoting a show. That's it. I'm not here because I like open mics. I'm not here because, I mean, it's not that open mics aren't a good thing. I mean, they're great for your craft.
Yeah.
But the problem with many open mics is quite often you're performing to just comedians. And comedians are generally terrible audience members. But on the other hand, when I do open mics, I can make comedians laugh. So that's I kind of like that idea, making comedians laugh.
See, when I do open mics, I don't ever expect there to be a huge audience anyway. And I know a lot of people freak out or they have told me that they freak out when it's just the comedians at the open mic. And I'm the opposite, where I'm like, oh, I think that's fun, because usually the comedians like my comedy more than the audience does. Because I've had lots of comedians come up to me and say, they really like my comedy and they wish they could do comedy like I do it, because I take risks that they aren't comfortable taking. I'm like,
Right.
well, I'm 52 years old. Who gives a shit? What I say, quote, taking a risk. Whereas they're young and they're like, oh, I don't think I could say that. I'm like, well, that's just not what you're doing yet. So maybe, who knows? But
Right.
I don't ever, if it's just comedians, I'm like, I have fun either way. I'm like, I like to, my goal anyway is every time I do open mics or whatever is to make the comedians laugh. If I can make the comedians laugh, like legitimately laugh, I think that's even better than making the audience laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're comedians that I think are funny, that's a bonus.
Well, even if they're not comedians I think are funny, if I can make them laugh, because again, generally they're not a good audience. A lot, it's not, it's like they're not looking to laugh. They're looking to pick apart, or they're looking to, you know, either learn or tear down. I'm not sure what they're looking for, but yeah.
Yeah, I find it interesting that you have that experience, because usually nobody ever comes up to me and says, "Hey, could I give you a tip?" I'm like, on your comedy? Like, no. You can't,
Oh yeah, I
because you don't
get.
do comedy like I do. Like, sometimes people, like my friend Nolan, will say that. He's like, "Could I give you some advice?" I'm like, "No, because we don't do comedy the same. Like, you want me to do lighthearted, funny shit. I'm like, I'm not doing that."
Yeah, like now, there, and I think there was a comedian. I'm not going to say I respect it, but he is very influential in the area. He books a lot of very influential. And we were at an open mic, and this is after the open mic. We were just talking, and I had mentioned the fact that I got circumcised when I was 50, and they
Ooh.
go, whoa, you got circumcised at 50? I said, yeah. And they go, why aren't you talking about that on stage? I said, because I'm doing it when I do my special. I'll talk about it then. I'm not going to burn it in an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, if I got circumcised at 50, I'd be talking about it. I said, well, I can wait. I have other material. I don't have to
Uh-huh.
burn everything. As a matter of fact, I think I used it in I talked about it in 2 shows.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think most of us use open mics to practice what we were planning on doing in shows.
And I don't.
Yeah. Which I think
Only.
you're doing like the opposite of what most people do for the open mics. We're like, is this going to work? And then you write it down. And if it didn't work, or what the response was, how you change it. Whereas you're like, fuck that. I'm doing all new material on this special. I don't know if it's going to work or not. That is a bold move.
Well, and I'm not doing it to be bold. That's just the way my brain works.
Like, this works great in an open mic. I will never use it again. I thought I didn't understand comedy, but clearly you also do not understand comedy. That makes no fucking sense. I gotta tell you, that makes no fucking sense. Oh my gosh. I can understand if, like, for me, because my comedy is so different when I do hosting. When I do open mic, that's when I get to do, or if I get put on a show, that's when I do my comedy.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm doing open mics, I'll be like, "Hey, I've got a host this weekend. I'm going to do some of my hosting jokes for you guys. Let me know if this is cute enough for me to do." Because that's what I try to do when I'm hosting. But then I immediately slip into the other shit. I'm like, well, I tried, but I'm still trying it out first. I'm like, okay, this worked or this didn't work or whatever. Yeah, the mindset that you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to roll out all new shit. I don't know if it works or not. You do know, even the big comedians, that's what they do. They work on their shit out on the road. I mean, at smaller venues before they do their shows.
Well, once I put the show together with everything I want in it, I will take it out and do it as the show. And I will practice it before I record it. That I will do. I won't. I don't just say I got a 90-minute show. I'm going to do it and not have practiced it. Now, granted, the last one I did on Plausible, that was all musical.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any point in taking it on the road, because it was just a matter of
I just practiced it at home. I just didn't have I didn't have the result I wanted because of other issues. But the songs are going to be the songs,
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to rewrite the song or anything, But
Gotcha. I mean, I just thought we're like workshopping. I mean, that's what that was,
yeah,
Clearly, I mean, don't take any advice from me. You've been doing it longer than I have, but for me, I'm like, I think I should probably try stuff out before I commit to it. But I'm also not doing any specials, so.
and it's now I'll take okay, for example, first of all, the way my brain works, nothing is ever finished, which is another problem I have. Now, with song parodies, at some point they have to be finished because it's a song.
Yeah.
But with short stories and jokes, as I'm telling it, sometimes it's like, wait a second, literally something will pop into my head that even though I've seen this for like months on paper, it didn't pop into my head there.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't pop into my head, and like all of a sudden, a perfect example. Open Tuesday night, I was doing an open mic, and I said something like, my mother died in hospice, and I heard that kind of thing. And I said, it's fine. Okay. And then right after I said that, I thought to myself, I should have, I said, it's fine. My mother's not, but the material is okay. My mother didn't survive, but the material did. It's okay. It's good. It's funny.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But I just said, it's fine. I just brushed it off because they were like, I said, it's fine. It'll be funny. That's what I said. It's fine. It'll be funny. And it was. They wind up laughing their asses off toward the end, And as a matter of fact, one guy was like, that should be your finale to your show. And it's not. It's actually slap dab in the middle. It's like it's slap dab in the middle. And
well, I think that again, that's like the importance of workshopping things is, order. What order do I want this in? What order flows? What order works? And we go back to that whole thing with transitions. You don't have to have transitions,
right?
But there should be some sort of logical order to your set, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that I'm correct, because there's lots of people that are just doing jokes that I don't know where the fuck they're going.
Right.
And it's obvious that they don't either. And I don't know if they're just getting up there and ad-libbing or what, but I try to have like a logical, I guess, progression of my comedy.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it should make sense. I'm going from spot to spot.
And that's when I'm doing a show. That's what I do. When I write a show, the one I'm working on one right now called Reopening Old Wounds. It's designed to be a 90-minute show, and I'm up to 132 pages of material.
Jesus.
I know. And the thing is, it was only 122, but I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it and trying to make it shorter. So now I'm at 132.
Oh, man.
And by the time I'm done, it'll probably be down to like 90 pages or something.
Jesus, my doctoral capstone wasn't even that big.
But it's but to me, I'm seeing it as like it's a 90-minute, to me, it's a 90-minute show or 90-minute story. And it's comprised of many, many, many smaller stories to get toward the end. But there's multiple callbacks and everything is related. Everything builds upon something else. So, but that's just how I write. And I'm working on it in private. The only difference is like now there's some things I'm working with Dylan Brody on.
Okay.
Because Dylan Brody is a master of brevity. And so he'll say to me, "You got too many words," or "That's not funny." Now, he and I don't see eye to eye on some things because I have a different vision for my show than he has. He's like set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline. And he is much, much better at what he does than I am at what I do.
Yeah.
But he's also been doing it for like 40 years. He's also much smarter. He has more encyclopedic knowledge of the way comedy works.
Yeah.
I'm like the idiot who can do a math problem in his head, but couldn't tell you how he got the answer. Dylan can tell you how you got the answer.
Like he knows methods. Basically, he knows the different methods.
Yeah.
Like, so I'll do something. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's the so and so method done by such and such," and I'm like, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
So,
What's
but
the
this,
nice thing? That's the nice thing about, and it's not like I really wanted, but I didn't want to be nosy because he was having such a good time when Jackie was here. But I really
right,
wanted him to kind of like teach us a little bit. And I got a little bit of that just with having conversations with him about stuff. But where Jackie's really good is, where people are like, oh, he's just telling, the haters are like, oh, he's just telling jokes, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but he's taking a joke and making it better. So he gets rid of all the shit. They said that in his documentary. He's like a surgeon. He trims off all the fat to make it a good joke that flows perfectly. So I learned that a little bit from him. And so now when I look at my jokes too, I'm like, okay, where can I make this more succinct so I can get rid of shit that doesn't need to be there, or extra words, whatever, to make it flow better. And then
right,
then I've got time for my awkward pauses and things like that too.
right.
But I really think that's what I really think he should do, like a master class is one of those things he should do. But he doesn't
I
consider
don't.
himself a comedian.
He may not be able to teach it though.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Some people can teach what they do, and others some can't. But like uh, people, a few people have asked me, why did I go up to Michigan to see Jackie, and I'm not performing with Jackie. I'm just going up to see him. And to me, it's like a class. I view
Mhm.
watching Jackie as like going to school, and I'm taking notes. And so even if I don't pick his brain, if I sit back and watch what he does,
Yeah.
because being a youngest child, in a big household, well, big for me, 4 people, 6 people, 5 people, 6 people, including me, I learned by watching everybody else
Yeah.
and then incorporating it into my thing. Like my father, as much as I learned from him, I didn't do the things he did. I just know how to do those things. Like I know how to cheat on my wife, I just don't. You know, so
Yeah.
so I learned a lot from my father, my mother. I learned all those things, but I just don't. But I apply them in my own way.
Right.
I watch Jackie. He and I have 2 totally different ways of doing things.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is why it was awkward for me to be sitting with you and Jackie, because you and the two of you are like swapping jokes, like like high school kids swapping spit, and I'm sitting back there like the little nerd going, so that's how you kiss.
uh, yeah. I wouldn't say I was swapping jokes with Jackie. I was making Jackie make horrified faces by the jokes that I told. I was like, oh my God, poor Jackie. He hates my comedy. I was like, okay. I sent Jackie a cute joke. So this is the joke. I'm gonna have to read it to you because it was funny because we've been texting with him like every day.
Wow.
And so I sent him a joke the other night because I was like, oh, maybe he'll be proud of this one because it's cute and I'm going to use it for hosting. Let me get to it because we went to the zoo. So I was writing a joke while we were at the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the joke that I sent to Jackie. What's the difference between a Mexican bearded dragon and a bearded dragon?
Oh.
Tiny sombrero. What's the difference between a Mexican West Coast rattlesnake and a rattlesnake? Tiny maracas. And then I ask an audience member, what's the difference between a Mexican spotted wood turtle and the American spotted wood turtle? Now, keep in mind, I've made all these references to Mexico.
Yeah.
What would your answer be?
I would say their feet, little tiny feet or something. I don't
Okay. No, it's endemic to Mexico, you fucking racist.
know. Now, see, that's a slightly different version of what you told at dinner that night.
Oh, what did I tell at dinner that night?
No, it's a slightly different. No, I'm just saying the wording is slightly different because you told us at dinner, but
Yeah, I
it's
hadn't
slightly
done the last
different.
part yet. I don't think I'd done the last part yet.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Slightly
Right.
different.
Yeah. So he, so this is what he sent me. I didn't hear back from him for a while. And so I texted him again. I was like, going to assume you're still rolling on the floor, laughing uncontrollably. No, he sent this back. He's like, so sorry, I read your jokes. And then he sent me another text and he goes, What's the difference between an Irish turtle and an Italian turtle? Who gives a fuck? Only fucking John Beavers tells crappy jokes like that.
That's how you know he likes you. He busts your balls.
Yeah, so then I sent him a text and I said, "There's no need to lash out because of my comedic genius." Yeah, but I was yeah, like you gotta do some cute. I gotta do some cutesy jokes. I think that's a cutesy joke. I think it is because it would be better if I just said the same thing. Like if I said, tiny sombrero for each thing, because
Right.
then the third time they're gonna be like tiny sombrero. But I think maracas is cute. But I'll probably do it that way.
Well,
I'll
it's
probably
also
do it.
snakes, rattlesnakes.
Yeah, tiny maracas. Yeah,
yeah, that makes
they make
yeah,
that
that
shaking
makes it
noise.
yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
yeah. But I'm gonna try it at the open mic to see if I can bait people in.
Mm. You see, and I don't. I'm not saying I don't do jokes. I don't. They're to me, jokes are like flavor, like part of the. They're just extra seasoning on the meal. To me, my short stories are the meal, and
Mhm.
jokes are so that to give it extra flavor. Otherwise, you're just eating mashed potatoes with butter. And sometimes like a little garlic, a little sour cream to make the mashed potatoes more palatable.
Yeah, I don't think that what you do is that as abnormal as you think it is, because most of the big comedians do exactly what you do.
They
Most
just
of them
don't do it as
aren't
well.
telling. They're not telling jokes anymore. They're telling situations, and they're saying funny stuff all the way through. It's kind of like oh god, what the fuck is his name? Mike Birbiglia. Mike
Yeah.
Birbiglia doesn't tell jokes
No.
at
No.
all, like at all. He just tells you stories, and there's funny stuff all the way throughout his stories. And I love Mike Birbiglia, but
Yeah. He's that much. He has to do. He's doing one man. He has like a one-man show on Broadway.
yeah, and he's hilarious. But one of the comedians who tells jokes, and I can't fucking remember his name, but he was busting Mike Birbiglia's balls because Mike Birbiglia was like, yeah, when you blah 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 with jokes, and he's like, but you don't tell jokes. You say stuff like, and that was bad. So,
But that's a different
Stephen
skill
Holmes.
set. It's like you make something funny the way you say it, and not necessarily with the surprise. And all of a sudden, he was naked or something like that. No, I don't know. I don't know how to
Yeah.
tell the joke.
Yeah. Pete Holmes. That's who was busting his balls. Pete Holmes is
Oh, okay.
he's very funny. I like him a
Yeah,
lot. I like him because he used to play Batman on, what was it, College TV or whatever. Something like College
I,
Humor.
I
Have
didn't
you ever
see
seen
that.
those clips?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he does. His Batman is hilarious. He does it. He does it like Christian Bale's voice.
Is it animated or is it?
No, it's live. It's live. It's let's see.
Is it like on Netflix or something, or
No, you can
Adult
find it
Swim or
anywhere.
something?
Yeah, you can find it anywhere.
Oh, because I never even heard of it.
Oh, it's called College Humor. Why don't they have Pete Holmes on here? He's like the main dude. Let's see, Pete Holmes. Yeah, Pete Holmes is Batman. It's on. Yeah, you just literally look it up on YouTube. It's funny, all the clips that he does. But he does one where, like, he says he doesn't kill people,
Right.
and like he's like beating the fuck out of people, and there's people like dead all around him. He's like, I don't kill, and they're like, what about this guy? Why isn't he moving? He's like, he's sleeping. But he's clearly dead. He does another one where he's finally encountered Bane at the end, and then
Mm-hmm.
Talia al Ghul comes up and stabs him, and then they're talking about their master plan. And he's like, wait a minute, we had sex. And she's like, yeah, that's part of the plan. He's like, but we had like a lot of sex. Like, and you did things that from one spot to the other, and you he's like, you gave me head or something like that. He's like, and I was wearing a vinyl suit all day, It really seals in the flavor, if you know what I mean. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, you got to check him out. Pete Holmes is Batman. Very funny.
And that's just so it's not that was that a TV show or was that just on YouTube Shorts or something like that or
It's college humor. I think it was all YouTube type TV type stuff.
oh
like
okay
just specifically
okay
YouTube.
gotcha
But they have some very funny shit on there.
okay I'll check it out. Although I think
College humor.
oh
College
damn,
humor.
okay I found it. I think I found it. Disillusionist pics. Let me close that. I think I found one of the pictures I was looking for. Now I just have to figure out how to get it onto the screen here.
Stay tuned for a picture of a giant vagina with.
Well, it's not. It's no. It's not the giant vagina part. It's not. First of all, oh, is that maybe? Let's see. No, that's not it. Okay. This is the other side.
Ah.
See, so it's not so wide. It's because I made it portable so that I could move it around, I can move it out of the way when I change clothes.
Gotcha. So you're there you are in utero.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why is the in utero side look dookie brown? It should be pink.
Well, because the curtain has. I could have. Here's the. When I'm building it. When I build it, it had to be light enough that it didn't collapse, and and I could make it transportable. I had to take it apart and put it back together so I could transport it.
Yeah,
and the top is actually an expandable curtain rod, but it's plastic. And initially, I even had to lighten the pubic hair because the pubic hair was actually so heavy at one point that it was like causing it was like it wouldn't stay closed. The pubic hair was so heavy that it was just the gap was always opening. It wouldn't close behind itself. And so I had to find lighter material to use for pubic hair that didn't look as pubic-y as the other stuff I had. The stuff I had originally was plastic, but it looked really pubic-y from the audience.
Yeah,
and
pubic-y.
then
looked pubic-y.
Yeah, pubic-y. And then once I built it, and I built the first one, I showed it to my wife. My wife goes, "Do you know what a vagina looks like?" And I said, "Yeah, I do."
I know a lot. Not all vaginas look the same, wife. I've seen a lot of them, and that's at work, not just porn. I've seen a lot.
So the other side, even though it should have been pink, I had to make it light so that it wouldn't, I could transport and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But it served its purpose, and nobody ever said to me that the inside should have been pink. I knew it. I did know it. But I'm like, okay, the original one I had envisioned is nothing like that. Because the original one was much too big. Because originally I wanted to be able to crawl out to be born. I wanted to be able to crawl out through it. And I was like, okay, has to be too sturdy, too strong. I can't. And it's not portable.
Yeah.
And then this one, and again, being an infant or being in utero is only the first 15 minutes of the show. And it's that I do in the next segment, I change clothes. I get out of that outfit and change clothes while the audience is there.
Gotcha.
I go back, I turn it back around, I'm sticking my head out to the audience, and I'm talking to the audience through the vagina, and I'm actually changing clothes while I'm talking to the audience with my head through the hole. And then I come out as an adult, and I roll the vagina away, and I'm in these clothes. And then it goes from there to my funeral, and I change clothes again. I become the minister, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, presiding over my own funeral. So
that's ambitious. You think he's going to live longer than you?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if he'll live longer than me. I think he has a less healthy lifestyle than I do.
Okay.
Because he drinks, and I don't drink that much. He drinks more than I drink.
Oh, is he diabetic?
He is diabetic, but he doesn't do the drugs, the metformin and stuff.
Okay.
Controls it with diet and exercise and alcohol.
Yeah, that alcohol doesn't really control diabetes.
Oh, I think it does. He thinks it does. I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
it
he wrong.
does.
It actually causes
He
type.
wrong.
Yeah, he be wrong. He be
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard the Reverend Jelly Roll's so diabetic the maple trees tap him in the fall.
tap that sap.
Yep.
they tap that sap.
Yep.
Now there's we have something it's called in the fridge. It's called sweet tea bourbon, I think. But it's 40 proof whiskey, 40 proof whiskey and
Mhm.
sweet tea. But it's sweet. It is so I described it last night as it is so sweet that you could put it on pancakes, but it's so strong it'll burn a hole in the pancake.
Oh yeah.
that's but that's what the Reverend drinks on Sundays now.
Mm. All right.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like the way it tastes at all, but he likes it, so who am I to judge? You know.
Well,
But
it's
it's
like
likely that I think I will probably outlive him. But for the purposes of being on stage, he's the one doing this my funeral.
well, that's nice of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's bad. Go ahead.
We only have a couple seconds left. It looks like.
Oh my God! I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mind if I plug my stuff?
Oh yeah. No, please plug it. Plug away.
Plug it. All right. Tonight I will be at the Social Goat in Portage, Indiana at 7 p.m. for a Kill Tony ripoff type show. Tuesday, September 16th, I will be hosting at Wax Wings Brewery for our open mic. Slap Your Tail Comedy Open Mic in Kalamazoo, Michigan at 7 p.m. Wednesday, the September 17th, I will be producing and on standby for my buddy Nolan John Cox show at 1871 Brewing for his mic in Plainwell, Michigan. September 19th, I will be hosting Slap Your Tail Comedy at the Cricket Upstairs Lounge and Comedy Club at 9 p.m. in Battle Creek, Michigan. Tickets at the door are just $10. We have an awesome showcase. We're going to have Alexa Stanton, Marcus Cusick, Joe Johnson, and that killer Devron Thomas. And September 27th, I will be hosting a show in Decatur, Michigan, but I do not know where. I do not have all the details. I'm still waiting. But check out our website, slaptailnation.com. There's links to our socials on there too. And that's it. There's a lot of shit.
Well, that's a lot. I have a show in November. And I will promote it more once I'll promote it more once the club, once the venue puts it on their website so I can get a QR code. Because I print up flyers and I take flyers out and I put QR codes on. I'm somewhat old fashioned. I do the social media, but I also go to businesses near the venue and the ones that like me and but I don't do that until I don't put them in the businesses until like a week or two beforehand.
Yeah. Too far in advance isn't
Right.
that necessary.
But I put them in the venue as soon as they put it on the website and they give me the QR code, I print up flyers and I put them in the venue.
Yeah. Nice.
For people to take with them.
It's a good plan. Yeah, we would do it too, but every once in a while we'll get somebody from a flyer, but we kind of stopped doing that now. We're like, wasting a lot of money on flyers.
Now, for those of you who are familiar with Coffee of the Dog, and you're waiting for the turn on your radio song, which is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I ain't doing it. I'm doing. It's not that I don't like the song. I like the song. It's just that I'm going to do one of mine from my CD that's 400 years old, and this is an instrumental piece. It's called "Our Gang: A Study," and it's not really a video. It's a music. There's pictures and text. So join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Our guest will be John Kenneth from John Kenneth Live and Sit Down, Stand Up, and a few other things. A comedian and radio disc jockey. So join us tomorrow for that. And don't forget to turn on your radio.